Brady throws end zone. He's got Evans for the touchdown. Third down conversions on their way down the field, and Mike Evans is in for the score and the early points for the Buccaneers here on the road.
Well, Kevin King comes up, he gets a jam on him, and then he doesn't really retreat after that. And Evans is just able to get him behind him, go to the corner, and mistimes his jump on the ball.
Going nowhere, we ain't going nowhere. We can't be stopped now, cause it's bad boy for life.
Evolution. Sports Talk Television live here nightly. All Bucs report. It's the Sports Lab. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about on tonight's show. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Will you shut up and be quiet? Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television here live nightly on Bucs Report. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. On tonight's show, we will have Mr. Harry the Greek, my professional handicapper, and then, of course, other guests and your phone calls. Definitely want to hear from you. How are you feeling about Super Bowl 55? Has that reality hit you yet that your Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be versus the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 55 at Raymond James Stadium? So how do we start off the Sports Web? Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. And, of course, this edition of the Sports Web is brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts. For all your auto parts needs, it's Advanced Auto Parts. Tell them the Sports Web, Peter Blake, and, of course, Bucs Report sent you. So, once again, open phone line if you want to get on, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. On this show, we will fire the cannons if you say something great. Here we go. A little bit late tonight, so let's go ahead and do that again. Come on now. There you go. Now, if I don't have anybody calling in, this is what I'm going to do. Because, look, if I don't have anybody calling in, I'm not going to stay on for 2 or 3 hours. I'm just not going to do it. And I don't understand it. This phone line right now should be blowing up. Ask, and you shall receive. So, without further ado, welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, man, I'm calling from the Bay Area. 813, baby. We own our city now. You heard me?
Well, what's your name?
My name is Daniel Williams.
What's going on, Daniel? How you doing? How do you feel about Super Bowl 55, your Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Kansas City Chiefs? You feeling good?
Boy, who? Man, I'm going to tell you, once I whooped Green Bay, I went straight to the stadium.
You want to sleep in the stadium. I think that's a lot of people right now what they want to do. They want to be in that stadium right now. They want to be outside that stadium right now. They want to be what?
No, I'm saying we was considered as underdogs when we faced the Green Bay Packers, bro.
Sure.
Because it was a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's cold up there." They haven't won since the Brooks and South. Okay, Brooks and South, Simeon Rice, John Lynch, Rondé Barber, they left a legacy there. And now my defense I got now, they is ready. And Devin White, Levante Davis, Shaq Barrett, and Jason Pierre-Paul. And I can't forget about my Latin heartthrob, Shaq Barrett and Vita Vea. You know, hey man, my front five, we are ready. What you did before, we not gonna have that this time.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you right now, if Vita Vea is out there, look at the type of impact that he made on that defensive line last Sunday versus the Green Bay Packers. Tremendous impact.
That's what we were missing. We were missing that big push.
Right.
You know, Sue was getting double teamed. Dominique and Sue was getting double teamed.
Right.
Dominique and Sue was getting double teamed. Now that Vita Vea back, everything is one-on-one, and that was proved against the Green Bay Packers. And now Kansas City, we know that your offensive line is bruised up. And you know, Todd Bowles, I hope he took the playbook home. Look at when you messed up.
Right.
When you face Tyreek Hill in that first round.
Sure.
Let's double him up. Let's double him up because I think my guys can get a number 87, get him out of the doggone equation. Because see that there is Patrick Mahomes safety net.
Right.
That's his safety net. 87 his safety net.
Travis Kelce, you're absolutely right. He's a weapon. He's one of the best tight ends in the league, and he's paid as such. Yeah.
Yes, that there is Patrick Mahomes safety net, 87. That's his safety net.
Right.
And you know, we slipped in a lot of things in our secondary. Okay, right. We was a little banged up against Green Bay, but we getting everything we need back now.
Right.
Antoine Winfield Jr. He will be back and strong come next Sunday. He will be back and strong next Sunday.
Well,
you know, and I don't know where O.J. Howard at, but he needs to come on and get himself back in the locker room.
I don't think O.J. Howard is going to play, Daniel. I do not think he's going to play. But just to give you a little, actually, I'll actually put it right out there right now. The Buccaneers won't face against the Chiefs in Super Bowl 55 until next Sunday. But right now, their game status estimation for Super Bowl held on until February 7th. But they had to put a status out. So if their game were this Sunday, Antonio Brown did not participate, doubtful. Levante David did not participate, questionable. Mike Evans, limited participation. Chris Godwin, full participation. You have Jason Pierre-Paul did not participate. Vita Vea, Jordan Whitehead. But, of course, you've got 1 week away from it all getting cleared out. So right now, this is just an estimation.
Well, I'm going to tell you, right now, everybody is hungry. Every time they walk through one Bucs plate,
right,
they look at them statues. You know, we got a couple of guys that have seen Super Bowls and everything like that. You feel me? But you got guys that want to like, hey, this is our turn.
Right.
Them guys are hungry. Everybody you say that that has been limited in practice and this and that, but there will be nothing that's going to hold them back but a steel cage.
Well, I tell you right now, they're definitely going to be pumped up for this game. The Bucs are going to have the home field advantage. They're going to have Vita Vea back. Most likely they'll have Antonio Brown back. They're most likely have Antoine Winfield back. Right.
He's coming back to play in the game, and we go get him back for a regular season in coming up 2021.
Mm-hmm.
We are bringing Mr. Brown back. We are going to bring everything that number 12 need to keep him on the right path.
Right. So you're feeling pretty confident in this game, Daniel, right?
We're not going to fall down like the Patriots.
Right.
We're not going to fall down like the Patriots.
Okay.
We're going to keep everything that you need to throw that ball in.
Mm-hmm.
You want them back, we got to bring them back.
Absolutely. Bring them all back. And don't be surprised. Let me tell you something, because the Bucs, they have to make a lot of decisions in free agency, and we could talk about that, but I'd rather, break down the matchup. I feel like right now where the Bucs stand, whether they win the Super Bowl or not, and I've make no bones about it, I believe this team was going to win the Super Bowl.
Chris Godwin got to come back.
Well,
Chris Godwin and Levante David.
There's certainly a possibility that those guys, I think, could sign for less money because they want to play with Tom Brady and they want to play with the championship organization. And if they don't win it this year, then they'll have the challenge to win it next year. And if they win it this year, which is what I think they will, then they'll have an opportunity to go for 2 in a row. So why in the world would any of those players want to leave here? This is the best place right now. This is the center of the universe besides the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, and my guy, Cameron Brady, he had done lit up the whole Tampa Bay area.
Absolutely.
Lit up the whole Tampa Bay area.
Big time, big time player.
Two moves, Scotty Miller.
You think he's? Let me ask you, Daniel, and I'm going to let you go after this. Do you think he's faster than Tyreek Hill? Do you believe his comments? Do you think he's one of the fastest guys in the NFL?
Scotty Miller.
Yeah.
Scotty Miller. Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do. Because I'm gonna tell you, Super Bowl Sunday, it's gonna be Scotty will get past. Everybody call him the honey badger, whatever the fuck him. I don't care.
Hey, we got to keep it clean here. All right.
I'm sorry, my bad, but
it's all right,
man.
It's okay.
You don't get past that dude, bro. Excuse me, everybody on Bucs Nation. I ain't mean it, but
that's all right.
But hey, man,
that's all right.
We gonna get past that dude, man. Because I'm gonna tell you, Scotty Miller, he always give me one in every game.
That's it. You're exactly right.
He always give me one when we really need it in every game.
All right, my friend. Thanks a lot for calling the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Definitely keep on calling, Daniel. Appreciate you. All right, let me go ahead.
Man, number love, brother. Number love, man. We finna win this year, and we gonna get number 12, man. The doggone key to the city, man.
Absolutely, man. Let me go ahead and fire those cannons for you right there. I'm gonna give you a Rick flavor. There you go. And Daniel, thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate you. All right. All right. Yep. Good stuff. All right. We're off and running here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. What do you got to say? I don't want to hear cricket tonight, because if I hear this tonight, I'm going to be upset. I definitely don't want to hear you troll, but you can troll me and you get this right here. Or you get this. Or if we say playoffs, we may play this.
Playoffs?
Yeah, Jim.
Don't talk about playoffs.
We weren't last
year. Me? Playoffs?
Absolutely. And then, of course, we'll give you the because that's how Bucs fans should be feeling right now. It shouldn't have worn off. I'm not tired of talking about it. I don't even think I've slept that much. You know why? Because I can't wait till next Sunday. And if you can't wait, we'll get you ready for that at the Deck Bar and Grill in Isla del Sol for your pre, of course, your half and post-game edition. Where would you rather watch a Bucs game and with Bucs Report, right? Get out there. Great food, great service. The Deck Bar and Grill in Isla del Sol. Let me go ahead and go out to the webheads, read these comments, and then I'll get my professional handicapper on here. Let's go Super Bowl, baby, our time. Russ says, want Bucs to beat the Chiefs to death, 49-10. Need JPP to come up big. Christopher Cole says 8 more days into the big game. Let's go Bucs. Absolutely. Mark says, let's go Bucs. Let's get this done again. Hey guys, let's go. Fire those cannons. We shall. All right, let me go out to Russ there. Tyreek Hill will take a slobber knocker hit by somebody. Christopher Cole, Super Bowl double nickel. Absolutely. Bring on the Greek. We'll have him on in just a little bit. Need a pick. Okay. Well, I don't think he's going to give that pick to you tonight. So if you're holding your breath on that, fat chance he's not going to give you that pick tonight. I can tell you that right now. We got 8 days to go. Defense needs to punch him in the mouth. Sandra Nagel, my mother, who's in the hospital right now. Okay. This is called sacrifice, my friend. She's in the hospital. And she says, watching the best sports talk show in the Tampa Bay area, the Sports Web Bucs Report. Let me go ahead and fire those cannons for you. Love you, Mom. And let me go ahead and give you a woo. Because I know you love Ric Flair, sort of. I think you're a Dusty fan, Dusty Rhodes, if you don't know who that is. Our pass rush is on another level since week 6 with Vea. So glad he's back. Definitely brings the best out of JPP and Barrett. And going to give the DB some help. So pumped for the D to shut the Chiefs down. Let's go out to David. Is it February 7th yet? I don't know. I wish it was. It might be me, my drugs. It might be Super Bowl fever. It might be both, but I had a dream of me making more money than Tom Brady. Well, I definitely don't think you're going to be making more money than Tom Brady. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Although sometimes dreams can come true, right? If you put your mind to it, if you really apply yourself, who knows? And even then, most likely it won't happen. But look, you're having great dreams right now. You're not having nightmares. You're not talking about the draft. We're not talking about coaching changes or GM changes or some other stuff that we've talked about on this show in the past. I mean, that's what you got to take out of it. That's the beautiful thing about this. And it's hard to really wrap your mind around it, right? Your Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in the Super Bowl, but they're not out in San Diego. They're not in Miami. They're not in New York. By the way, let's not ever have a Super Bowl in New York again, okay? Okay, good. You're not somewhere like New Orleans or Dallas or Houston. That's at the Ray J. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Put David on Kelsey. Could be David. Could be Devin White. What do you think about that matchup? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It's killing me. Russ says, please target Gronk at least 5 times. Ben says, heard this from Bucs fan earlier, the Gravediggers. And of course, that was a nickname that Carlton Davis came up with. So we'll go ahead and do this. Woo! There you go. Absolutely. Corey Hall says, the injury report means nothing. It does not mean anything at this point. Just an estimation, just giving it out there. Don't take my head off, but it is interesting. But you would think that they're going to have back Antonio Brown, right? You would think that Levante David is not going to be a big-time injury because it's a hamstring injury. You would think, Mike Evans, limited participation. Chris Godwin, of course, Antoine Winfield did not participate. Jordan Whitehead, we're still not sure about that. With the Chiefs here, Le'Veon Bell did not participate. But all this stuff, you're exactly right, is out the window because you got 8 days away. 8 days. That's it. So we'll see what the injury report shows next week. But for right now, it's just an estimation. When Bucs win second trophy, they will have more respect in the NFL. You hope so. Mahomes is good, but he's not the GOAT. I like it. Christopher Cole. Got to beat the virus and stay clean until after Sunday night. You guys will be fine. Wear your masks. Wash your hands. How concerned is Bucs Nation about KC punt kick return game, especially after the Saints game and overall? Hartman is very dangerous. That would be McCole Hardman. Hardman, not Hartman. Hardman. Yes, very concerned because he has the speed. You're always concerned about a facet in your game, especially with the Chiefs who definitely have that speed threat. Absolutely, you're concerned about it. You're concerned about every facet. You have to play nearly a perfect game versus the Chiefs. This is the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. This is a team throughout the whole postseason last year that was down early in games, even late in games, against the San Francisco 49ers, down 10 points. So you may think you got them. You don't. You got to put your foot on their neck and put them out. That's how you got to play it. Russ goes, Scotty is faster, but Hill can break your ankles juking you. Ben says, Scooter. Christopher Cole says, he had too many adult beverages, laugh out loud. That's okay. I'll go ahead and excuse it, especially for having too many adult beverages at this point. You know why? Because you deserve to have those adult beverages. If you're going to have them in the safety of your own home. And please don't be stupid. Don't drink and drive. Take an Uber. Get a friend that's a DD to take you around. Don't be stupid. Don't go to jail. Please don't. Russ Lawson says, hey, Jameis, we're going to the Super Bowl. Anwar says, go Bucs Nation, fire those cannons, and we shall. Greg says, the Bucs have to play a perfect game to beat the Chiefs. Just said it. Ben Paris says, wow, too hungry. Our guys have never been here. I feel it's ours to lose. Bucs will learn from week 12, believe. Ron says, Mr. Peter Blake, always good to see you and join the Bucs report. Go Bucs. We're in the promised land, Bucs Nation, baby. And Taylor Allen says, hello and hey, how are you doing? Let me go ahead and fire those. And of course, we got Nick and James from the Sports Dude podcast are calling in at 10 p.m. So there you go. Without further ado, let me go out to this guest here. Or let me go out to this webhead here. Excuse me. Kerry says the best thing is our defense has won the last 2 games, and it's time for Brady to go off. Go Bucs. You can say it in the first game too versus the Washington football team. I get it. They gave up, some yards there, but made some big plays down the stretch. They did. They absolutely did. The truth says, Pats had the secret 2 years ago with the crap team. Brady had the secret to beat KC. Bucs 31. KC 28, and Russ says defense will win this for this team. Now, with that being said, we'll get Harry the Greek on in just a moment, but Tom Brady opened up about why he chose Tampa and went into a little bit of detail in his Thursday press conference. We kind of missed it. He told reporters it was an opportunity that led him to Tampa, an opportunity. Everybody always says with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it's not a great team, not a great franchise, not great ownership, not great players. Here's the greatest of all time that says it was an opportunity for him that led to Tampa. Talented wide receivers, a budding offensive line, a solid defense, and all which players factors in making the organization an appealing landing spot for a Hall of Famer like Tom Brady. He says, I like to think that I wasn't that much of a chance after a lot of years. I like to think that I wasn't that much of a chance after a lot of years, becoming a free agent and then having the opportunity to continue my playing career. I love the opportunity that presented itself here, which is ultimately why I chose here. I really love the coaching staff. I love the players that are here. Again, this is according to Pro Football Talk. I looked at those players and thought, wow, these are really great players. This would be a good opportunity for me. Obviously, a different conference and a different division and all that, and I didn't quite know about it, but in the end, I had a lot of different choices. I don't want to revisit them all, but I'm pretty detailed, and though I went through a process of decisions and thinking about everything that really mattered to me in some way, in one form or another, obviously a lot of the family considerations. My son lives in New York, and I didn't want to be too far from him. It just ended up being a great fit as it played out. So there you go. There is more of the details coming out about Tom Brady. So when people got on this broadcast, when he was first signed in March, what was the first thing they said? It's a money grab. The Glazers got him because they're making money. Well, of course they are, because the guy's a winner. But he didn't come here just for the $25 million. There were other decisions there. He liked the organization. He liked the city. Most likely he likes the fans. He liked the players. He liked the whole situation that he was getting himself into. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, from March to now, Super Bowl 55, just 8 days away. So there you go. Let me keep on reading these comments, and then we'll get Harry the Greek on. Defense will win this for Tampa. Once again, I like that. Winfield will help us. Russ says again, hopefully Brady extends a year when his contract is finished. And El Gronk, the Buccaneers have the weapons. You just needed your captain. Now you have them. Good luck to the Bucs. And I don't know who's messing around with my brands here, but stop doing that because I didn't push that at all. There you go. I know who it is. And then Eric Scott goes, the money grab theory kind of died on it. Out on it, huh? Absolutely. I mean, we heard that. That's what we heard. Oh, it's just a money grab. Oh, he's just here to make money. Oh, really? He's just here to make money. Well, yeah, naturally. Does he really need it? I mean, he's married to a supermodel wife. Yeah, I said it. So whoever the guy was, I think it was Benny. He said, I dreamed of making more money than Tom Brady. Well, good luck with that. Hopefully you're married a supermodel. He's had a supermodel wife. He's taken less money with the New England Patriots. So it wasn't about money. It was not about the money. Don't show me the money. That's not what it was about. $25 million? Yeah, it's pretty good going rate. He made less than Ryan Tannehill. He's going to most likely make less than Dak Prescott. But at the end of the day, it was the opportunity to be in the Super Bowl. All right, you jerk. Let me go out to my professional handicapper, Mr. 88%, 89%. And I taught him how to do StreamYard here. So he's pushing buttons and he doesn't think I'm noticing.
Me?
Yeah, you. Harry the Greek, welcome to the evolution of sports talk television. And I got to start out with these comments from Tom Brady because they're really amazing. And it kind of clarifies that once again, with a lot of fans saying it, a lot of pundits saying it, that he wasn't here for just a money grab. He was here for the situation. He even says, again, I looked at those players and thought, wow, these are really great players. It would be a great opportunity for me. Obviously, a different conference in a different division. And so many words. He loved this situation. It wasn't just the money aspect. It was the fact of the opportunity, a great opportunity that he felt like this team had that. And now you're looking at Super Bowl 55 against the Kansas City Chiefs. Your thoughts?
You know what? It reminds me of the old Michael Jordan commercials. It must be the shoes or it must be whatever. So we can always say in Tampa, it must be the weather. It must be the boat. It must be his wife. Hell no. You know what it was? Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Gronkowski coming. I mean, look at the weapons that he's had. He's never had this type of support ever.
Right.
Never. Even in the 07 Patriots, you had Randy Moss, and I think the other receiver was, you're pretty good at this, Peter.
Well, you had Wes Welker at a time. You had Stallworth. You also had, I'm trying to think of the other wide receiver they had because they had a collection during that undefeated team.
You're right. They did have a collection. But since that 07 team, he has never had a supporting cast like that.
No.
And they had good defenses back then, but not quite as good as this one either.
Right. No, I agree with that. And the defenses really showed out. So with those comments, and then I got to ask you, I saw this on ESPN. This is right up your alley. Did you see where somebody made a bet of $2.3 million on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as an underdog? Are you making that bet?
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
I can see someone making that bet. Am I making that bet? I'm not giving that pick out yet. Sorry, Mr. Bo. Can't help you there.
I was trying to get it out of you.
But you know what? I do have quite a few other picks today. We're actually going to talk about next year, folks. Not who's getting drafted. I got something even funner for you. Ready?
Okay.
How about odds to win the Super Bowl next year?
Odds to win the Super Bowl next year.
Absolutely.
All right. Hit me
with
that.
You want me to entertain you? Name a team and I'll give it to you.
All right. So how about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at this point?
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, plus 1,200. You're going to get 12 to 1 on your money. And FYI, that's the same exact dollar amount as the Green Bay Packers.
Now, I wish that I would have bet that $100 at the beginning of the year when I said it in March. I wish I would have bet that because I probably would be a lot richer, right?
You don't understand. You'd be not only a lot richer. I mean, can you imagine before Brady was announced coming here? Do you know what the odds for the Buccaneers? Oh, there's my cat. That was Turbo, by the way, that hit that button. It wasn't me. I swear to God.
No, I see that.
I'm teasing you. Let's go through a couple really quick. New York Jets for Mr. Jacob Charnell out there, plus 7,500. Don't waste a dollar. Philadelphia Eagles plus 5,000. The Steelers plus 3,000. This, by the way, the numbers that I'm giving you is if you wagered 100, that's how much you would win. The 49ers 1,700. Seattle plus 2,000. Buccaneers plus 1,200. Titans plus $3,000. Washington football team plus $6,000. Can you imagine making that bet and they get a quarterback?
Wow.
Think about that for a second. Let's go on. Arizona plus $3,000. The Atlanta Falcons plus 6,000. Baltimore plus 2,000. The Bills plus 1,200. Ironically, the same as Tampa. Carolina 7,500. The Bears $5,000. Cincinnati 10,000. Cleveland plus 2,500. Dallas 2,000. Really? Give me a break. They should be in the 5,000 or 6,000 range. Denver plus 7,500. Detroit plus 10K. Houston plus 10,000. Colts plus 4,000. Jacksonville plus 7,500. And your reigning NFL Super Bowl champions from last year, the Kansas City Chiefs, plus 650. They are already the favorite to win the Super Bowl for next year. And the next set of tier teams are Green Bay and Green Bay and Tampa. You know the one team that's not in here that I don't see?
What's up?
Oh, I found them. The New Orleans Saints. Just to let you know, NFC South fans, New Orleans, according to this, is not even favored to win the NFC South next year.
Well, that would be the reason why, is because they're in cap hell. Plus, you're losing a Hall of Famer and a Drew Brees who's seen his best days, but you're still losing him. So you have no idea, Harry, how many players you're going to lose in free agency. There could be a lot, especially with those cap problems. All right, let's go back out to the webheads here. Taylor Allen says Harry the Greek. There you go. The Truth says Colts, Saints, and Bucks. Brady could have led any of those teams to the Super Bowl. Glad he picked the Bucks. Russ says Brady moved to Miami and out of Jeter's condo. Russell says KC is like 28th in red zone defense, I believe. Also, KC gives up a lot of yards to tight ends. Gronk and Brake need a huge game. I mean, you look at it, red zone offense and how important it is, or defense, if you will. And coming into that matchup, I always go back to Green Bay. Green Bay being the number one red zone offense in the NFL. Bucks holding them to 2 for 4, which is huge, holding them to field goals instead of touchdowns. With the Bucks getting into the red zone and having a high percentage, I believe top 10 or something, 7th in the NFL, that's definitely an advantage against this Chiefs defense, right?
Without question. And as I've said in the past couple of weeks, this is the biggest difference that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been having a lot of success was because they're keeping Gronk in to go ahead and block. I mean, I've heard people say, he could probably just put on a couple of pounds to become a left tackle. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. He does an extraordinary job at, chip blocking and trying to slow down linebackers, and even in some cases, some defensive ends. I've even seen him pick up a couple of blitzes here and time again. Not in this game, folks. That's not what I want to see, because this is not the same defenses that he's been facing from the New Orleans Saints and the Green Bay Packers. Kansas City is going to bring it hardcore. They're going to be trying to blitz and get Brady off his timing.
Right.
It is going to be very bad for Kansas City's defense if they do that. I expect a big game from Gronkowski. This is the week that I think he's going to go off for a minimum of 5 catches.
Wow. I like it. I tell you right now, if you have Antonio Brown back, which it looks like they could have him back, you add him to Mike Evans with a week of rest, to Chris Godwin with a week of rest. You also talk about Gronk and Brate. Brate's been at some points during this postseason the go-to guy. If that defense decides to blitz on Brady and doesn't get there, I definitely could see them having success. And Brady and Evans hooked up in the first game. So what do you guys think about this matchup once again? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go back out to the webheads here, read these comments. So good stuff there. The Truth says, I'm guessing one big catch from Gronk and a fantastic blocking and Brate might be the secret. Eric Scott says, well, Brady, and they're saying the Glazers bringing in Brady was a money grab for the franchise as a whole. Looks like that's not true now either, is it? I mean,
why wouldn't it be?
Right. I mean,
Really?
Look, they're owners. They know what they're doing. You get the greatest of all time. You bring him in here. Of course, you're making money. Now, could you have made more money with more of the sellouts if you didn't have a pandemic going on? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, it wasn't just trying to make money and also win games. It was the fact that he gives you the best chance to win. And it's been shown this year. The truth has set you free.
Let the truth set you free, sir.
Yeah, that's it. All right, so let's go out to Greg here. Old smooth voice himself, don't mind me, says Greg Stone. Imagine if we had OJ right now to work the middle with his speed. I mean, people keep on talking about OJ being back. I don't see him coming back. Of course, I didn't see Vita Vea coming back, but there's been no word on it. So I don't
said that OJ could come back possibly, but that I really wouldn't. You know what? I shouldn't say that. What did I say about Vita Vea? Am I going to have to say I was wrong again? You know, I hate doing that, Peter.
Right. I know you do.
Sometimes I'm wrong. And again, I'm going to repeat it because I swore up and down at every show that I was going to get on. I was wrong about Vita Vea. Okay. Everybody knows out there what I thought about it from before. I mean, I know he's an extraordinary player. And I said he was 350 pounds, that, you know, he's just not going to be in game shape. You know, there's going to be a difference. Oh my God, was I wrong? That guy was unbelievable.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And, you know, just looking at this article today from Jenna Lane of ESPN, obviously I was down and out that night, but I think that night I told myself, if you just push through this, push through the
Well, while Peter froze up a little bit, I guess I can talk to you for a second. I have no idea, but I can pretend I'm Peter too. Watch.
rehab, you must, because you'll be live. You're live right now. Don't do that. Okay.
I was only kidding.
So,
I didn't do that to you.
I know you did. And this is what he was talking about, October 8th, that incident. They told me I might have a small chance of making it. So I took those chances of what they said, and I really took it to heart, and that's what I stuck with. And I knew at the end of the day I'd be back. I kept telling myself I'd be back. In fact, it goes on here to say that the Bucs front office and coaching staff hadn't planned to activate him off the injured reserve, but Coach Bruce Arians started watching his workouts, and he began running about 4 weeks ago, and we kept winning, and he kept working, and it would work out. It was always uplifting when you hear someone say that to you, and obviously when the head coach says that to you, I think that was like our little thing to each other. Every time we see each other, we look at each other like, keep winning, I'll show up, and I ended up being able to play last weekend, which was huge blessing for me. And then on top of it, again, you see the impact, but you see all the injuries that the Kansas City Chiefs have. Not only are they going to be missing Eric Fisher, the left tackle, but you're also missing your right tackle. You're going to be missing a couple of your guards there during the season. So, you know, it's not all rainbows and unicorns for the Kansas City Chiefs. This could be the matchup right now that definitely favors the Bucs and absolutely controls this matchup, because if you can get pressure on a Patrick Mahomes, you can definitely win this game.
You are correct, but whenever you have Patrick Mahomes under center, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Tyreek Hill, you remember him, right? I'm sure every Tampa fan remembers that. You have Travis Kelce. When you have those skilled positions, there's not a lead big enough to feel comfortable against this team. However, Tampa's defense is playing extraordinary right now. I mean, really well.
Yeah.
You see what they did with Aaron Rodgers and his weapons, and they did it on the road in the cold.
Right.
But Kansas City's offense is a little bit better. Tampa's defense is going to have to play their A game. They're going to have to play their best game of the season to win this football game. On the other hand, all the Buccaneers on offense have to do is just not make any mistakes and protect Brady. And they could possibly win this game. There's a reason why Tampa's the underdog in this game. And they're in their own stadium. A couple of them are. You're going to get a point or two because of the reigning Super Bowl champions.
Right.
The other part is because of everything that I've mentioned. The quarterback, the running back, the tight end, and the wide receiver.
Right.
You know, that's why they're the favorites. But if Tampa plays defense and they keep Brady upright, they can win this game. But there's a reason why Kansas City is the favorite.
Absolutely. And it's because of Mahomes, because of the experience that they have, because of how explosive they are on the outside with the Tyreek Hill in the middle, with the Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy. Once again, Eric Bieniemy not getting a job in the NFL. It's just absolutely confusing to me. So what do you think about this matchup again? And those comments from Vita Vea, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. And you ask Shaq Barrett about it. He says, Vita's a big impact. We most definitely miss Vita. On the first sack, the quarterback was trying to go where Vita was at, but he couldn't because Vita was there, and he flushed him right to me, and it worked out perfectly just from that. Not even run defense. Run defense, he's a real important piece in there. Wherever Vita's at, he's going to take the gap next to him on both sides and maybe one more gap, so we most definitely missed him in there. And once again, going through the injuries, Eric Fisher is out with an Achilles tendon. You have Mitchell Schwartz, the right tackle. He continues to recover with a back injury. You also have a left guard, Kelsey Osalemi. I don't think I'm pronouncing his name right.
Osalemi.
Yes, due to a torn tendon in both knees. And then Laurent Dervay Tardif and Louis Niang, who are missing because of COVID. So already they have sustained their losses on this offensive line. And what you want to do is put that pressure on Mahomes. You want to force him out. You want to force him to throw across his body, as crazy as it sounds, because maybe you can get an interception or two. It's happened. It'll happen again.
Well, we were talking about it on Wednesday, and yes, I do agree with you. Yes, you can get an interception or two.
Mm-hmm.
The difference in this game from Kansas City versus, the Kansas City Buccaneer game now in the Super Bowl versus what happened in the middle part of the season when Kansas City was playing Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is they were healthy in Kansas City.
Right.
They're not as healthy, especially on the offensive line. And Tampa's defense has really started to pick it up, especially, again, with Vita Vea in the middle. This defense is even totally different.
Sure.
So what's that going to force Kansas City to do, Peter? It's going to force them to keep another player in, which is going to take one of the skilled position players out because they're going to have to protect Patrick Mahomes, especially if Vita Vea played like he did last week in this game. And you have Shaq Barrett on one end and JPP on the other, trying to contain him in the pocket.
Yeah.
Force him to throw the football from the pocket.
Absolutely.
That is a huge difference. I mean, that is so enormous. People can't even grasp how enormous of a difference that can be. But the whole key is don't be too over aggressive with the blitzing from Tampa. Do not try to get in there all the time. Collapse the pocket in the front and contain him from the edges. That will make him lower his eyes and pull the ball down and start running the ball. That's what you want, because one or two times of that, and you're blanketing a couple of receivers, that's when quarterbacks have a tendency, especially young quarterbacks, make mistakes. Because if you go back to that if you go back to that game, Kansas City at Miami, they forced and they really brought something out. He rolled out 18 times in that game. 5 of them were by design. The rest of it was pressure. And all 18 times that I counted, all went to the right. And half the passes went across his body, across the backside of the field. And what happened in that game? They created 3 interceptions. That was Miami's defense. They're very good, very similar to what the Buccaneers are. Not as good as Tampa's defense. And if you try that against the zone pressure that Tampa does create, and they don't blitz as much, he's going to give the defense the ball a minimum of two times in that game.
And that's what you need. You need to not only create those that pressure, but also those sacks, because if you create that pressure, it leads to sacks. Then also you can get some turnovers, possibly a fumble, because we saw that in the first matchup. I believe Shaq Barrett caused a fumble and JPP recovered it, if I'm not certain on that. Correct me if I'm wrong. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Go ahead.
What I was going to say was, and I want to piggyback off of that, the sacks are really good. You've heard me say before, the stat sheet it really doesn't show what quarterback pressures are. In this game, if the game's relatively close, if you get to him, you get to him. But as long as you're putting pressure on him and getting his head to look down rather than surveying the field, that's a win for the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Now, if the Bucs are up by 10 or 14 points, go get super aggressive. Go in there and start to try to tattoo them a couple of times. Because if you make a mistake, you're still up in the game.
Yeah.
If the game is tight, you really want to just contain the guy, get his eyes from looking downfield, force him into making ill-advised throws, especially when he's rolling to his right. What I'm kind of interested to see is what he's going to be like if Tampa can get pressure from his front side and make him roll left. That's what I want to see. And I don't think he's a very good quarterback moving to the left as he is going to the right.
Agree.
He has a huge tendency to throw across his body. And you know what? You know why quarterbacks do that, Peter?
Why they do that?
What? And I'm not taking anything away from Patrick Mahomes, and I'm not saying he can't read a defense.
Right.
But most quarterbacks that have tendency to roll to their strong side is because they can't read a defense as well as other quarterbacks. Number one.
Right.
Number two, when you do roll to the right, and I wish Blake was on because Blake could explain this a little bit better than I can, and I don't want to lose anybody. But what it does is it shortens the field. So now you're only having to worry about essentially as a corner, one linebacker, and a safety. You're essentially taking the other 8 players out of the game.
Yeah, that's essentially what you're doing. You're absolutely right.
That's why most quarterbacks, when they're running quarterbacks, have a little difficulty dissecting what a defense is. And they're improvising because when they're running, they're getting more time. But the field's also shortening up. That's why I don't understand why he's constantly throwing across the backside of his body. Linebackers are stepping in front of it. I mean, I see in one game, it was against Atlanta. Atlanta dropped 3 picks in that game. He threw it right to him.
Yeah.
When he was rolling to his right.
Right.
You try that against Tampa with a real defense, that could be a very, very long day.
Well, you say he's rolling to his right. If he's rolling to his right or rolling to his left, you don't want him to. You want him to roll to his left. His right seems like his strong side. But even then, if he's throwing across his body, the Bucs have to absolutely make him pay if they have opportunities for interceptions. You cannot drop passes and give Mahomes and that offense second chances. So you just can't.
I just don't know how accurate he's going to be going to his left because I never see him really roll to his left.
Right. Well, why not try to roll him to his left?
Right. Honestly, that's what I'm saying. If you push him off, obviously he's comfortable going to a strong side. Like most running quarterbacks are.
Sure.
Now, Randall Cunningham, it didn't make a difference. He could roll right, left, drop back 20 yards. It didn't make a difference. That he could be a pocket passer. He was everything. He was the complete package. But most running quarterbacks that want to throw the football roll to the right. Watch Lamar Jackson. When he wants to throw, he throws from the strong side on the run. When he's running the other direction, he's a little apprehensive to throw the football. He's taking off with his legs. And that's generally when he's running to his left.
Okay, good stuff. We got our professional handicapper on, Mr. Harry the Greek, Mr. 88%, going up to 89, 90% as we speak. If you have a question for him, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about as we're previewing Bucs versus the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl 55 next Sunday. Not this Sunday, next Sunday. And we will be live at the Deck Bar and Grill in Isla del Sol, getting you ready for that game with your pre-half and post-game editions of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts. For all your auto parts needs, it's Advanced Auto Parts. So there you go. Plus, if you start Jameis laugh out loud, here come the L's. Jay Walsh says, if Chicago gets Watson and is in the playoffs, Harry the Greek will be wearing his Bears golf shirt on a Bears channel.
Let me correct you on that. Please, may I? As much as I like Deshaun Watson as a football player, there is no difference in playing style between him and Mitchell Trubisky. And
really?
Let me explain why. You're damn right. And I'm going to explain why. Mitch Trubisky, there was a reason why 2/3 of the NFL head coaches and general managers had him ranked higher than him. Okay. There is something about Mitch Trubisky. Mitch Trubisky is in the wrong system. They're very similar quarterbacks. They throw better from the run. Wait a minute. What does Deshaun Watson like to do? Throw from the run. So why will that automatically make Chicago any better? When the head coach does not like to throw the ball from the run. They want him to be a pocket passer. So let's just think about that one for a second.
Well,
I personally wouldn't give up the house for it.
I tell you right now, Watson can throw from the pocket. He could definitely throw on the run. He has the mobility. So I think he's an upgrade over Trubisky, but you're exactly right. You have to put weapons around him. Do the Chicago Bears present that? Can they put enough weapons around him? Can they protect him with that offensive line? Because to me, the line had their injuries last year. You got to get improvement there. And like you said, I'm not sure about the coaching staff. You have Matt Nagy, who comes from Kansas City, who worked under Andy Reid, and you think that would rub off on the offense, but it really has not rubbed off on the offense. So
I did see an improvement toward the second half of the season.
Right.
And unfortunately, he decided to take the clipboard back against the New Orleans Saints game. We all seen it because Mitch Trubisky sat in the pocket. Do I like Deshaun Watson? Absolutely. Do I think he's going to put fans in the seats? Chicago puts him in there anyway. But I'm just letting this well be known. Chicago finally has a first-round draft pick. They're going to have to give the farm up for him. Me personally, it wouldn't make a difference if Deshaun Watson was there. Yes, I'll always wear my golf jersey, but I would not be leaving Buck Report. Let's just make that one first and clear. I am not going to a Chicago Bear channel. There are other quarterbacks. And it's not even set in stone that Trubisky's even leaving Chicago.
Right.
There are other quarterbacks they're going to be very aggressive at getting. However, I don't think they're going to give up the farm. Look for the likes of Derek Carr possibly going to Chicago. I do not think that Deshaun Watson, even though they're saying that the Bears are in the sweepstakes to get him, number one, they don't have the cap space. They don't want to lose all the draft picks when they finally have a decent draft this year. They can't afford to do that because they had to give the farm up for Khalil Mack.
Right.
So look for the likes of Deshaun Watson, a Jameis Winston. God forbid. No, why did I say that? I just cursed myself. Hang on. No. Okay, I had to do that, so the gods heard me too.
It's too late, buddy. There you go. Are you surprised by that report from Adam Schefter yesterday that he asked for a trade request weeks ago? And the Texans at this point, there's no going back. They hired David Culley. This
is all smoke and mirrors. The general manager just came out today and said, we have no intentions on getting rid of Deshaun Watson. You know why they're doing that? Because he feels it just increases his value. Look,
sure,
if Deshaun doesn't want to play there, trust me, Houston's not going to want to pay him, and nor are they going to allow him to be there.
Where do you think he goes? Because there's been some teams we've talked about him in the past couple weeks here. We've talked about the Jets, the Miami Dolphins. Could the San Francisco 49ers put their hat in there? What about the Indianapolis Colts? I mean, how many picks would you have to give up? What's the most likely scenario in Harry the Greek's mind on basically what's the word I'm looking for? Handicapping the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes, if you will.
Sources say right now they're looking for a minimum of 2 number ones. They're looking for a 2. They can stagger them out. They're looking for a late round draft pick as well and a starting player. That is a lot for a quarterback. I'm sorry, it is. You can't sell the farm to do it. And then you're going to have to pay him on top of it. I mean, come on. You really got to think about that. But the teams, in my opinion, that are looking for him, don't be surprised for the Washington football team, the Miami Dolphins, Carolina, Indianapolis. I don't think they're going to get him. I don't believe it's their first choice. They're very smart with their money. That is a really extraordinary organization. They know how to run their cap space. Look for Indianapolis to get a Matthew Stafford. And I'll say it again. Sources say before the Super Bowl, there will be a deal done for Matthew Stafford.
Wow.
He will probably be the first quarterback traded. It's going to be the first blockbuster trade. San Francisco could be a big play for him, but I'm kind of thinking, I think Carolina, because they do have cap space and they do have a lot of draft picks that they can go ahead and play around with because they've acquired them through a couple of players that they have gotten rid of. I think they're in pretty good shape, and I could be speaking out my bum, when I say that, but I'm not mistaken. They do.
Okay. All right. Let me go back out to the web heads here. Coffin says Gronk doesn't have to big enough to play. He's big enough to play left tackle. I think that's what he's trying to say. He is. We saw the breakdown with Gronk looking like a left tackle there, helping out Donovan Smith and helping out Tristan Wirfs. AB will rip KC up. You agree with that? Is that the matchup we're looking at here? I know we're going to continue to talk about matchups and X factors, but is your money on an AB coming off that injury, being refreshed, having that week off? Do you feel like he could be a major impact, especially with, thinking they're going to double up on a Mike Evans? They're going to be able to guard Chris Godwin, and also he's had his dropsies, if you will. So is an AB a guy that you're banking on other than a Gronkowski, which is what you talked about earlier on in this segment?
I wish I had my crystal ball to look inside of it because, because the Greeks' crystal ball, there's a lot of cash in it lately.
Okay? There is.
And the crystal ball says this: whoever they're double covering, go the other way. I couldn't tell you who's going to have a big game. My assumption is going to be whoever's not being double covered in this game. In Kansas City, pick your poison. Because between AB and Mike Evans and Godwin and Scotty Miller and Tyler Johnson, Gronkowski, Brate, the two running backs between Fournette and the victim of volume. Good luck.
I know.
With that.
We've kind of forgotten about him because playoff Lenny has definitely been the guy that stepped up, and credit to where credit is due. If he's the hot hand, then you would expect the Bucs to run the ball, and if it's either Fournette, the victim of volume, and a Ronald Jones or somebody else, they're going to go with it, and that's the way they're going to have to win this game. I really feel like they're going to have to continue with this game plan. And to me, you look at Kansas City's defense. Do you think the Bucs can be successful with that running game versus that susceptible Kansas City defense?
Without question. That is, and I'll never say something is a stupid question, but that's almost borderline on it. Are you kidding me? That defense couldn't stop you and me lining up in the backfield right now as far as a running back. I'm not kidding.
But not me.
Their defense cannot stop the run, especially a team that doesn't come in like the Buccaneers expecting to run the football. Think about that. I hope you're listening, coaches of Tampa, because Kansas City's not trying to stop your running game.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
You start running on first down, and you're going to start picking off 8 and 10 yards a carry. Good luck with that, Kansas City. And if Tampa was smart and they did run the football in the first quarter, oh, my Lord, they have no idea. They would be completely on their heels in this game. But you have to run the football. That's why I said they couldn't stop you or me, because they wouldn't respect us. They respect Rojo and the running game about as much as you and I are lining up in the backfield, because Tampa doesn't want to run the football. They want to pass the ball. It's proven. That's what the statistics say.
Right. Well,
That's why I said that, by the way.
I know you did. And do you have a problem with the tendency to run on first down? Do you feel like they should pass on first down and then run possibly on second and third down, or change it up? Because a lot of people kind of looking at that and saying, well, the Bucs are always running on first down, and that's why teams
that's true.
Catch on to it.
23% of the 23% is what they ran in a regular season on first down. It was the lowest in the National Football League. They are a run. They are a pass first team. Now, in the playoffs, they got to 33%, almost 34%. That's 10, 11% more. And one of those games were indoors. I don't know what the percentages were when they went to Green Bay, but that is a really, really good question. Do I think that Kansas City would be prepared for a run game? No. Nope.
Hold on, caller. All right, let's go out to the phone lines. Welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with my professional handicapper, Mr. Harry the Greek, Mr. 88%, going up to 89.90. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Adam in Largo, Florida.
What's going on, Adam? How you doing? Welcome to the Sports Web. What do you have to say about what we talked about tonight? Tom Brady's comments, Vita Vea and his comments, and then looking at this matchup in general, just talking about this running game. Do you feel like the Bucs and their tendency to run on first down, teams are going to start to catch up on it? Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I mean, how are you looking at this matchup overall?
Well, the way I look at the matchup, to answer that question, to get to the nitty gritty, if you give Patrick Mahomes less options on offense, he's going to struggle. And what I mean by that is definitely taking Kelsey out of the game.
Right.
And what I mean by that is locking him down. And definitely Tyreek Hill, fastest wide receiver in the league.
Sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, can we stop with the Scotty Miller thing, by the way?
Scotty Miller, you're going to take Tyreek Hill over.
Can we stop with the Scotty Miller, please, callers and everybody else? He's not faster than Tyreek Hill, okay? But let's tell Tyreek Hill he is, because maybe if he runs a little faster, he'll pull a hammy in practice or in the game. Just saying.
Tyreek Hill is an animal as far as speed goes.
Sure.
And if you lock both of those guys down, it gives Patrick Mahomes less options as far as comfortable options, reaching out to those guys, knowing that he has a security blanket with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, which he knows 99% of the time they're going to catch the ball.
Sure.
Let's be honest. When you got Sammy Watkins, you got the other guys, McCole Hardman, he's coming around, but let's face it, he's no Tyreek Hill.
Nope.
He's probably the same caliber receiver as Sammy Watkins. I can probably say that. But when you put enough, when you move those receivers when you move that receiver and that tight end out of that equation, when Tampa's defense locked those two receivers down, and I'm gonna call Travis Kelce a receiver because that's what he is. He's not a tight end; he's a receiver, in my opinion.
Right.
It's gonna make it a tougher matchup for Patrick Mahomes. He's at that point. he's going to have to rely on other weapons on that offense. Now, let's face it, everybody else in that offense can ball. You know what I mean? I mean, he's been playing with them, long enough, but, defense is going to win this game. Like I said, it's from the beginning in the postseason, defense is going to win this game. Now let's go to the running game. Now, if you utilize Fournette is probably one of the decent catching backs in the league, especially when he was in Jacksonville.
Right.
Rojo, he had a fumbling problem, but it looks like he's definitely picking up as far as, not making that a problem. But I say Fournette is the hot hand. Keep running him, keep utilizing him. And like Harry said, I mean, Kansas City cannot stop Jerome Bettis right now. Jerome Bettis can go ahead and play in the league right now.
I didn't say Jerome. And by the way, Adam, you're not faster than Tyreek Hill, no matter what you say. I mean, I've heard all about it.
Oh, come on.
I just say settle it. I say settle that at halftime, okay? Get Scotty Miller and Tyreek Hill to run a race at halftime, and then they'll be ready to go by the second half. Probably much more entertaining. Although I like the weekend. Who knows what the halftime show is going to be, but I'm just saying I like to see the race. I would. So
this is going to be a very interesting game. Two teams that already faced in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
That Tom Brady had his opportunity to come back in that game, except for that mistake that he did towards the end of the game that costed him. But Tom Brady is the type of person where when he has these opportunities in front of him, going back to New England, plenty of times where, they had opportunities against Pittsburgh where Pittsburgh went in there and beat them. And he wanted to face Big Ben and the Steelers again.
Sure.
And get revenge. This is more of a revenge type of game for Tom Brady to get back at Patrick Mahomes. And let's I want everybody to stop with the GOAT and the baby GOAT. You know what I mean? These are two.
Amen.
These are two guys. All right. You got a kid on one side, which I'm older than him. I call him a kid.
Mm-hmm.
He uses his head and definitely brilliant as far as playing the quarterback position. And then you got a 43-year-old that's successful. And this is his 10th Super Bowl appearance. I mean, this is something that we just want to sit down, watch, and enjoy. Everybody needs to relax. Everybody they don't need to be going beer all over the place. Just enjoy the game. Watch it unfold. You know what I mean? Things happen. Let it happen. Watch the game. It's going to be a great Super Bowl, and I think probably one of the best Super Bowls, by far, especially with the tough 2020 season that we've been going through. And this is what perfect way to end it, but to watch the Chiefs and the Bucs in the Super Bowl in Tampa.
I know. I look, you can't get any better than that. I really think that the NFL got it right here. They got the matchups right. Everything worked out in the postseason, and the games were exciting. And hopefully, it's oh my goodness, it's as exciting as the postseason games were. Hopefully, if I could say it. All right, good stuff, man. Appreciate you. Anything else?
No. I just want to say, Harry, just make sure you tell everybody that, to relax it, especially Pat. I know Pat is probably biting his nails and sweating right now in the Super Bowl.
So are you saying you want me to give you my best Aaron Rodgers impression right now?
You can give him even one better. You can give him a Jake Delhomme impression.
The Hinkle, whatever it is, I have no idea.
Jake Delhomme.
You know what? You know what, Smart? You know what? I got a question for you. When you watch the Super Bowl, are you going to have to watch it on Deportes or in English?
I get it.
That's a good question.
Happy wife, happy life.
You got it.
You corrupted her to be a football fan, right?
She's actually getting into it more often every single time. We watch it every single week, and she's understanding it. And
good man.
Yeah,
Adam, we already had that talk. We've already had that talk, Adam. You can't marry her. I hope she's not watching, because I know Latino women can go a little nuts on me if I say this. You can't marry them unless they're sports fans.
Hey, I gotta give it to the Greek. You got to give it to him. That's your handicap right there, brother.
Absolutely, man.
Professional handicapper.
Absolutely. Professional handicapper there. Let me go ahead and fire those cannons for you right there, Adam. Woo! Give me a woo right there.
Night, guys.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate the call. Again, open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It's the Sports Web, brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts. Again, I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Harry the Greek, my professional handicapper here. So let's see. Sorry, not just a money grab, I meant, as some have argued. I agree with that. The truth says Vita is the truth. Alex says Bucs win, period. Russ says, is Cici still on special teams? I believe he's hurt. Brady can't be throwing picks this game. We were fortunate enough that the defense stopped Green Bay. I mean, going back to that, we talked about that the other night. That was a big concern from Bucs fans, but you don't expect him to throw 3 picks in a Super Bowl. Now, come on.
Who?
Tom Brady.
Yeah, it could happen. He threw 3 picks against Green Bay and they stole one.
Right.
I mean, anything can happen, but do I think it's going to happen? You know what? I wish that you were going back to the proposition bets, Peter.
I know. I'm going back to it.
I'm loving it.
Give me a percentage here. Over under 50%. He throws 3 interceptions. Go.
I don't think he's going to throw 3 interceptions, but his interception will he throw an interception? Yes or no? But I don't know there's going to actually have a number. Do I think he's going to throw 3 interceptions? Yeah, no.
Okay. I don't think he will either, but he did have a bad game versus the Chiefs. I believe he had 2 interceptions in that game, if I'm not correct.
Hey, poo-poo happens.
Yes, exactly. All right. Russ says Bucs will play zone coverage and it won't work. You agree with that? Zone coverage? You have to play some.
No, wait a minute. They're not going to play, or all I have to do is read your screen. How about that? Bucs will play
zone coverage and it won't work. You have to play some zone, if you will. Are you going to play? You're not going to play 101 with Tyreek Hill again, right?
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what you want to do.
No.
Are you nuts?
Right.
No chance. You better be playing zone in this game. Absolutely have to play zone in this game.
Exactly. Agree. All right. I mean, everybody's like, well, play one-on-one coverage. Okay, you play man-to-man, bump and run, aggressive against Tyreek Hill. I get it. You want to be aggressive with them. But if you don't have a safety over the top somewhere helping out, you're just asking for it. You're absolutely out.
Now you can play a press zone.
Right.
Okay. You can play a press zone.
Sure.
If you're going to play straight man up against this Kansas City offense, first off, you need your head examined, and the Bucs would deserve to lose the Super Bowl if Todd Bowles came up with that. But I assure you, if you see more than, 6 plays in the entire game for man coverage, solid man up coverage, I'll give you an over and under on that one. Over would be insanity. Under would probably be minus 1,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, to me, it's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy at this point. Let's see here. Brady. Okay, so we read that one. I feel our defense is going to eat them alive. Could be a big game by the defense. Stop running on every first down. Stop throwing deep, using it like a punt. It picked off against KC, but Brady will slow down and get this. Look, they're going to throw the ball deep. I mean, they're going to. They're going to test this defense out, as they should. I mean, that's their characteristic. That is what they do. That is who the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are. They're going to run the ball, but they're also going to use pass play action, and they're going to try to go down the field to players like a Mike Evans, to players like a Chris Godwin, and an Antonio Brown, and a Scotty Miller. I don't know, maybe even a Tyler Johnson, maybe even a Gronk or a Brate. They're going
I agree.
to that. And it's not a bad thing if they take those shots. The thing is, you have to complete those shots. That's what people are kind of looking at. And
if you notice when in the earlier part of the year, do you remember when everybody was ready to throw the towel in on Tom Brady? He can't complete the deep pass anymore. Why? Because they weren't running the football, folks.
Mm-hmm.
If you run that football against this Kansas City team, trust me, he'll complete 80% of those deep passes, because then, guess what? The play action works. But if you're not running the ball, you can run play action all you want. Nobody's going to bite on it.
Right.
The whole idea of the play action is get a linebacker in a corner peeking into the backfield, because then it gives the receiver one extra step.
Sure.
That's what works. But if you're not running the football, when you're doing play action, it actually is a disadvantage to you, because you don't keep your eyes downfield, because you're pretending of the fake handoff. That hence the word play action.
Exactly. I agree with that. All right, let's go out to Tyreek Hill. He had some comments here. Of course, he ended the game with 269 yards, 3 touchdowns on 13 receptions. He was saying that I just got tired. I got tired of running. Then he thought better of it. No, let me stop. He said Tampa Bay coach Todd Bowles is a great defensive coordinator. He's been doing it for a long time. I'm sure he's seen guys like me throughout his career just being able to dial up cover 2. Cover 55 strong and things like that to slow me down. Also putting Carlton Davis on me, slowing me down, and bringing the safety over the top to a bit to double me and Travis Kelce. That kind of slowed us down a lot. Plus, their front 7 is tremendous. Once they get clicking on defense, they're a great defense. They fly around the field. They're great. And also, Andy Reid had this to say about the Bucs defense. They're fast and they always are on attack. There are a lot of guys that they don't do it as well as Todd Bowles does it, and he's got a large package of goodness that he throws at you. So you got to be on your toes when you're playing against a team or his defense. Agree with that? Because look, in that first part of the game, again, shadowing Carlton Davis on a Tyreek Hill, it definitely didn't help them out. But putting a safety over the top, double teaming on Hill and Kelce absolutely did stifle that offense in the second half, right? Tell you
Absolutely.
what, let's hold up here.
I want to respond to that so bad, but go ahead.
Let's go out to the phone lines. Rob, welcome to the Evolution. You're on the Sports Web with yours truly, along with Harry the Greek, my professional handicapper. What do you have to say?
Yeah, Pete, I was wondering what you and Harry the Greek think about the Bucs and Chiefs getting tested twice daily.
Well, I mean, I think that's got to be done because you got to look out for COVID-19, of course. It's a pandemic still. You're still dealing with that. You don't want players to give other players it. You want them to be healthy so they can play in this game. And we're not talking about a key player because in a nightmare scenario here, Rob, if you don't test these guys and somebody happens to get it, then it could spread across a wide receiving room, knock on wood, a quarterback room, knock on wood again, a running back room. So you don't want a collection of players getting COVID-19. So it's absolutely necessary. What else?
Right. I was wondering what you think about Jock Peterson signing with the Cubs and also Matt Moore with the Phillies. A good show tonight, Pete.
Thanks a lot, Rob. Appreciate it. Kind of switching subjects on it. Jock Peterson to the Cubs. Any thoughts at this point? Harry the Greek, thanks a lot for the call, Rob. Appreciate you. Let me go ahead and fire the cannons for him. Because he did have a good question about COVID-19. Of course, them having to make those calls and test everybody twice a day so nobody gets it. Any comments about baseball at all? Or can we just leave that away, get that away from us and continue to talk about football? I'll tell you what, we'll do that. Go ahead and finish your point on what I was talking about with Todd Bowles and this defense and the adjustments they made in the second half of that first game versus the Chiefs.
First off, I will comment about the Cubs getting Jock Peterson. Who cares? Number one, who cares? No disrespect, Rob. Seriously, no disrespect. I'm a Southsider, sir. Only good guys wear black.
Put it on the board.
Yes. Okay. Honestly, they should take Wrigley Field and get a bulldozer.
Easy now. Easy.
This is spoken like a true Chicago person, and not to tear it down, just kind of push it a few yards.
I just want to let you know that even though this is a football show, it's also a sports show. Before the Rays got here, I was a Chicago Cubs fan. I was Andre Dawson, Sean Dunston, Ryan Sandberg, Mark Grace, Greg Maddux, Sutcliffe. I was a fan of the Chicago Cubs. All right, back to your regularly scheduled programming already in progress with Harry the Greek. Go for it.
The point I was gonna make about Todd Bowles and the defense.
Yeah.
With Tyreek Hill, I can honestly say that in this game, whatever the over and under is for his total yards for receptions and receiving yards, bet the under.
Okay.
That's not going to happen again in this game.
Bet the under. Okay.
I assure you of that. It's not going to be the same.
Okay. Not going to be the same at all. I don't think anything in this game is going to be the same because everybody anticipates that the Chiefs are going to come out and start fast and the Bucs are going to start out slow, and it may be completely, totally different because the game plan is going to shift. And you would think that Todd Bowles would take some of that stuff that he did in the second half versus the Chiefs and try to apply that. And with that being said, you would think that Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy and Patrick Mahomes would make adjustments so they can basically try to get the Bucs to go back to what they were doing in the first half of that game. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it kind of makes sense, but I think that Todd Bowles is a very smart coach, and I think they're going to make serious adjustments for him. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Let me go back out to the phone lines. Welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with Harry the Greek, my professional handicapper here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Nick from the Sports Dudes.
Hey, Nick, what's going on? Nick from the Sports Dudes. We've been expecting you here, getting you on.
Hold on 1 second. Let me just switch the call so my co-host can get on also.
I guess he's running a podcast too as we speak. He's running a podcast. We're running a Evolution of Sports Talk Television. So,
yes, sir. Now we're both here, Nick and James. What's going on, guys?
What's going on, guys? So we're having you on the Sports Web. What do you guys think about this matchup with the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
James, go first.
Hey guys, how you guys doing? I think this matchup is going to be a very fascinating one because you're talking about Brady, the GOAT, the greatest to ever do it. Mahomes is trying to build his legacy. You got weapons galore for both teams. I think the key is which defense steps up. I do think Tampa Bay's defense is better than Kansas City's, especially because they do have a lot of guys that can get to the quarterback. The Chiefs do have Jones, but they don't really have a lot of guys that can get to the quarterback as well as the Bucs do. I think defensively, the Bucs do have the edge, but it's just a matter of can the Bucs contain Patrick Mahomes and can Brady keep Mahomes on the sidelines. I think that's the key to this game.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like definitely the key we've been talking about, Harry. And you look at Vita Vea coming back to the Green Bay game. What did you guys see from his presence on that defensive line? And how much of an impact do you think he can make against this Chiefs offensive line that is coming in with multiple injuries, namely to both of their tackles and Eric Fisher at left tackle and, of course, Mitchell Schwartz at the right tackle?
So I saw a stat today on ESPN that Via played 30-something plays out of, I think, 69 total defensive snaps. So I think maybe they ramp it up if they can to around 40, especially since it's the Super Bowl, right? Last game, don't hold anything back. And, I heard a little bit about what you guys were talking about earlier, and we all know the run game opens up the pass game. So if that run game struggles, like they did against the Packers, then that's where Brady does have to force the ball downfield. And it does help that Antonio Brown will be here. So, if Evans doesn't remember how to catch a football here and there, that's going to help him as well. And, I hope that the Bucs can pull this off because Brady obviously doesn't have enough rings, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's going for his 7th and, of course, his 10th appearance in the Super Bowl. I mean, talk about what he's done this year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, guys. 40 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, new offense, missed the 400 reps during the offseason, no training camp, no OTAs, no preseason. Just amazing, right?
It's fantastic, and especially with how these, especially with Brady, right? You mentioned Vita Vea. I think Vita Vea made a big presence, but as far as Brady is concerned, man, it's just amazing. Who would have thought a 43-year-old quarterback? He changes the entire franchise. The Bucs coming in had not made the playoff since 2007. Had not won a playoff game in, I believe, 2004, if I'm not mistaken.
2002.
Sorry, 2002. Thank you. They haven't won the playoff game since 2002. They haven't made the postseason since 2007.
Right.
So they haven't won games in a long, long time. And for Brady to come in there, he brings Gronk with him. He brings Antonio Brown with him. He's got Mike Evans. He's got Godwin. He's got Cameron Brate. And he got Tyler Johnson and Scotty Miller. What Brady has done with this team is remarkable. And I just have to tip my hat off to Brady. The doubters said that Brady was done. Brady was washed. Brady was this, and Brady proved everyone wrong. And here he is in his 10th Super Bowl. And of course, if there's any quarterback, right, to have a Super Bowl play in his home stadium, why not be Tom Brady? Why not be him?
That's a good point.
Absolutely. We're on with Nick and James from the Sports Dudes podcast. Go ahead and promote your guys' podcast. Where can they find it, and what's it all about, please?
So you can catch our podcast pretty much where you catch all podcasts: Google, Spotify, Anchor, all podcasts like that. And we just our name is very simple: Sports Dudes. We're two guys talking sports. We talk all major four. We're also never afraid to touch the important issues. We have a big women in sports initiatives. And it's very important, for everyone where if you're capable of doing that job, get that chance. Don't be turned down because of gender or age or anything. No discrimination or race. And, we just like to have fun. We get a lot of guests. And it's fun doing it with James, man. We're best friends, and it's cool talking, and it brings us to talking to guys like you, and that's awesome.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. We'd love to have you here on the Sports Web, the evolution of sports talk television, live on Bucs Report, brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts. Let's talk about the other team there. That would be the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, you got Andy Reid, who basically got the whole thing of he couldn't win a Super Bowl. He's now won a Super Bowl. You have Patrick Mahomes. In your opinion, is this offense unstoppable, or do you think this defense will have something for it next Sunday?
I think if you're Todd Bowles, I think you're going to have a plan to slow down Patrick Mahomes. If you look at last year against the 49ers in the Super Bowl, you saw that the 49ers did a good job of slowing down Patrick Mahomes until the fourth quarter. The Patriots in the 2018 AFC Championship game held Patrick Mahomes without a point in the first half. So you could slow down this opportunity, but the key is to contain Patrick Mahomes and those weapons, because Tyreek Hill is the fastest guy in the NFL, and Travis Kelce, if not top two, is the best tight end in the game right now. And you got to make sure that you contain both of these guys. And of course, you got Nico Hartman in the back, and you got other weapons. Sammy Watkins looking to come back, but at the same time, too, if you can keep weapons in front of you, and you can just contain and you can just pressure Patrick Mahomes, then I think that there's a chance to slow him down, because you're not going to keep him out the end zone. Mahomes is going to get his yardage. It's the thing of containing the other weapons and keeping them in front of you. And I think the Bucs defense will probably rise up to the challenge, because I think Todd Bowles has been calling a really, really good game this postseason. So he does have his work cut out for him, because Mahomes is a different beast, but I think there's a good chance he can contain him.
Yeah, I definitely think there's an opportunity there. Harry the Greek, my professional handicapper, was just talking about it and saying, how Todd Bowles can, bring blitzes from everywhere, and how, this team has shown they're aggressive. And then that second half versus the Chiefs, they really did some good things, shutting them down. Harry, you have a question for these guys? Go ahead, jump in there if you want to. No question? Okay.
I got nothing. He's very knowledgeable, though. I really appreciate him calling in.
No, he's absolutely very knowledgeable. We got Nick and James of the Sports Dudes podcast on the evolution of sports talk television here, the Sports Web, brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about, talking about this defense, because we keep on talking about it. How good do you think Devin White has been? I mean, you look at him, you look at the game, he stepped up against the Saints, and then, playing against the Packers. I mean, boy, oh boy, he's definitely stepped into that role of being the eventual superstar and team leader of this defense, right?
Devin White, Levante David, all have been doing fantastic job. And another big part that I think, Bowles and Arians and even Brady, Gronk, Jason Pierre-Paul have to talk about, right? Those three players are pretty much the only players with Super Bowl experience. So our players going to want to be quick on the count. Our players going to want to be so hyped. So, with that is, could they get more delayed game penalties? Could they get more encroachments? Could they cause more penalties? And if you give extra yards like that, because you got to control the time of possession if you're the Bucs, you want to keep Mahomes on the sideline. So stuff like that is very important to where, they have to worry about that so much, because if you can hold Mahomes to, let's say, 27 points, I think Brady can get you 14. If you can get 2 field goals, right, that's 20.
Sure.
And if you can get a special teams play or a turnover for 6, I think that's probably your best way to win the game. Because even though Brady can win you the game with the throw, would he be able to do it quick enough against worrying about what Mahomes is going to do? So I think the defense has to help Brady a little bit more, one more time.
Well, they have to play complimentary football, and you wouldn't expect Brady to throw 3 interceptions. With that being said, do you think the most important key to this game is the Bucs running game? And have you been surprised of how productive it's been with the Leonard Fournette and a Rojo in that Saints game, not necessarily in the Green Bay game, but have you been surprised by this running game and how productive it's been in the postseason?
I've been a little bit surprised, especially that you would think with all those weapons that Brady had, you think, and Bruce Arians been known to push the ball. If you look at last year with Jameis Winston, 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions, led the league in passing, but they didn't have much of a running game. I think with Brady, a running game is essential because what you're doing is you're having a balance. And
sure.
I think they didn't really have a running game to start the season. They really didn't, but especially going on, especially with Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette, they really have had a balanced offense where it keeps teams honest, and that's going to be a real key factor because the Chiefs' run defense is really not that good. Their run defense is struggling, and if you can have a running game, that means you're keeping Patrick Mahomes on the bench. And now you're chewing up more your clock, which means Mahomes is not going to get an opportunity to do what Mahomes does, which means that the defense is more fresh now, which is they can just pin their ears back and attack Patrick Mahomes. So I really do think that the running game is essential, and if the Bucs have a chance to win this game, they have to get a running game started, because if you stop the running game and make the Bucs one-dimensional, not to say that the Bucs can't win these, they don't have a running game,
right?
But it's going to be so much harder if they don't have a balanced offense.
Besides the obvious of Tom Brady being one of the most important players of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who's your important player that sticks out in this game offensively and defensively next Sunday against the Chiefs?
For me, I'll go, because if you look at that Packers game, Gronk had that one catch, 20-plus yard yak. If you go back to the title game in 2018, he had that big 3rd and 17 catch that was very huge, before the D4 movement. So I'm going to go with Gronk, and then I'll also go with Antonio Brown. It's his time to shine. He didn't get to play in the title game, so I think he's going to be ready to go. And then for defense, you know what? I'm sticking with Devin White. He's been the force. He's been the magic. He's been getting sacks. He's been getting picks. He's been all over the field. He has pretty good speed. So I think those 3 players are huge.
Let me ask you this.
I think
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say my key on offense. I think the X factor is Antonio Brown. I think his connection with Brady is huge. I think he was sorely missed. And I think on defense, Murphy's Bunting, that's the key for me because he has been playing exceptionally well, causing turnovers in his last 2 games. I think that's the key for me.
Wow, I like it. Sean Murphy Bunting there. That's good stuff. All right, guys, let me ask you this final question, or actually 2 final questions. Number 1, should the NFL allow the Bucs to fire those cannons? Because much has been made about it. A lot of fans would like to see them fire the cannons when they score. Of course, it hasn't been ruled out yet. They would fire the cannons not just for the Bucs. So what do you think about that? Is that a disadvantage to the other team? Should the NFL allow it? And then second, what's your final prediction, guys, on Chiefs versus the Bucs in Super Bowl 55?
So the game they can't get out of this, right? The game is in Tampa. The game is a Buccaneers home game. The majority out of the 7,500 is going to be Bucs fans. Out of the total 22,000, I would like to think 11 at least are going to be Buccaneers fans, maybe even more. They have to get the home locker room. They have to be able to fire the cannons. Even if technically the Chiefs are the home team because of the record, they should not be able to get the cannons. It's a home game for the Bucs. The NFL has to think about, of when they put a stadium, there's a possibility. Once they heard Tom Brady got the Bucs, they should have thought of this possibility. So, and also the Bucs don't have to travel, right? They're going to get to use their own facility. So they have every advantage, and that's going to be a problem if the Chiefs win. But, I think they should fire the cannons only for the Bucs.
I agree. I think they should pull a Jim McMahon and just say piss on the NFL and just fire him anyway. What are they going to do? Forfeit the game?
Right, that's what they're going to do, Harry. Exactly. But they may fire the cannons for each team. I don't think that's an advantage to anybody, but who cares at this point, right? I mean, it's something to definitely talk about. And then your guys, what do you think about this prediction with both of these teams next Sunday?
So we're gonna be really honest. We're having a big Super Bowl pod on the day of the game. We're having 12 amazing guests, including a former NFL football player who was a Super Bowl champion. So because of that, we're waiting to give our predictions.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate it. I tell you what.
Come on. You can't give a prediction. You're on the sports web.
You're one to talk there, Mr. Professional Handicapper, because you can't give your prediction until next Sunday. So I definitely appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot for coming on the Evolution, and definitely don't be strangers, all right?
We love you, man. You're a great guy.
I appreciate you guys. We're going to have you on video next time or something, all right?
Yeah, we want to see the video.
We want to definitely see the video. We want to see you guys and interact with you, but appreciate the time here, guys, and thanks a lot for coming on the Sports Web, all right?
Always problem.
All right, guys. Nick and James there, the Sports Dudes podcast. Go and check that out. Let's go back out to the webheads here. Read these comments. I mean, you had some knowledge. They knew what they were talking about. I mean, no matter where this podcast is taking place at, everybody knows about what this matchup holds and what players to be expected. I tell you what, let's go out to the phone lines here. Best of the Bay, Cup of Ray. What do you say, Mr. Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy? Welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with my professional handicapper, Mr. Harry the Greek. Would you stop dancing? I swear to God, you have an effect on this guy all the time. He's dancing all around the place. I mean, what did you give him before this show, Tampa Bay Ray? And he's gone. I don't know where he's at. Tampa Bay Ray, are you there?
Oh, I got you, Pete. I'm sorry, brother. I muted it somehow.
See, there you go. See,
I know.
Already you're starting out so good.
I know how he muted it.
the course with me, and you guys know this. Did you guys, first of all, those the sports dudes, great guys, and but let's make no mistake about it. This game is in this is it. This is here. This is in Buck country. This is in Tampa Bay. I don't care if you're wearing that corny ass red and a little bit of yellow that those Chiefs bring in. It's going to be a red out over there at Tampa Stadium. It's a home game for the Bucs. Fire the cannons or don't. It's a home game.
There you go. I fired the cannons for you right there. I mean, yeah, the decision has not been made yet if they're going to do it or not. But, I mean, I know it seems like a simplistic subject, but a lot of fans want to talk about it, and they feel like the NFL should allow them to fire the cannons every time the Bucs score. How do you feel about that? Is that a disadvantage?
Well, no, but if nothing else, just for making us go over to England last year and calling that a home game against the divisional opponent, and that was our, we were second in the running for the damn Super Bowl in the first place before Los Angeles screwed up and didn't get their damn stadium built on time. So
I still say fire the cannons.
Will you shut up, Harry? I'm trying to listen to Tampa Bay Ray, but listen to both of you guys. We're ready to mute you.
Though. Let's be real here. As much as it would be a little bit weird to not fire him for the Bucs, and it would be because we've been firing him for over since '98. We've been firing him for 22 years. It would be stupider to fire him for the damn Chiefs. They're native. They're based on Native Americans that aren't even being able to use it anymore because it's half politically correct on half the country. So you're not going to fire a cannon. The only cannons that were ever fired on Native Americans were the cannons on the artillery or the front forces that were coming to fight against them. So it doesn't even make a logical sense. Am I right, though, guys? Seriously?
No,
if they can't fire the cannons, the Chiefs can't do this.
Can they have the chop? Can they have the
Hey, as long as we have a gator somewhere in there, we'll be.
Oh my God! You. This is what you get for that. All right. So you talk about this game a little bit. Talk about this matchup. What are you seeing? How are you feeling right now? I know it's been a crazy week, right? I mean, we're only 8 days away until Bucs versus the Chiefs on Sunday night.
I can't wait for Super Bowl Sunday. I can't wait because the Bucs Report's going to have them covered. We're going to have it covered from wire to wire. I'm already planning on like an 18 to 20 hour day, Peter and Harry. We're going to be out there at the Deck Bar and Grill. So we're going to be covering the whole thing. As far as the game itself goes, of course, talking about and Harry, I like to make the point that they're not going to let Tyreek Hill. They're not going to let the cheetah get off like he did. And of course, Andy Reid, the offensive genius that he is going to probably come out. Kelsey didn't get off in that first game. They're going to try to get him involved. But so lack of blitzing, the linebackers covering their zones, the pressure we're going to get with Villa there. We didn't have Villa when we played the Chiefs last time, of course. I'm just excited for the game. It's, you give me a Super Bowl. You talk about a Super Bowl. The Chiefs versus the Buccaneers in Super Bowl 55 is the best matchup the country could get.
Yes, because you have old versus new. You have GOAT versus, as some people would call him, future baby GOAT. I don't know. What they say on TV, the goats were called, I forget what they called them. There's a name for a baby goat. But yeah, I got you, Peter.
Hey, guys, but we're still missing the biggest narrative. The most important thing that everybody just keeps wanting to talk about. What about the cannons?
Well, what about the cannons? So what about them? Fire them off. Tyreek Hill,
baby.
Now, Tyreek Hill was talking about it today, how Todd Bowles made those necessary adjustments. Do you feel like he can make those adjustments in this matchup, the second matchup versus Hill in this offense?
Yeah, Peter, I'm glad you mentioned that because some people don't remember that Todd Bowles actually, even though he comes from the Bill, quote unquote, officially from the Bill Parcells coaching tree, having coached defensive backs under Parcells in Miami and then having been the assistant defensive or offense, actually being the assistant coach as a defensive coordinator, but he really got his start under Andy Reid in Philadelphia, and that's where he gets his start. And if you look at it officially, some places will make the argument that he comes from the Andy Reid coaching tree. These two go back a long ways. And of course, we saw that with John Gruden, who also started under the Andy Reid coaching tree. So this is nothing new to Tampa Bay. And the fact of the matter is that Andy Reid and Todd Bowles, Bruce Arians and the no risk it, no biscuit, Tom Brady. I mean, we always say, Peter, you made the point, or actually Johnny Dean, the professor, makes the point. You look at the roster position by position, and then I look at it coach by coach. And I'm sorry, I love Eric Bieniemy versus Todd Bowles. I love that, there's so many narratives going into this game that you could do a full week, and they probably are going to start on Monday. A full week of narrative for this game. Nothing short. There's no short. There's no shortness of ways to cover this thing.
Sure.
But I do believe Todd Bowles is the defensive genius, and I'm actually surprised that nobody gave him a more serious consideration for a head coaching job this off season.
Are you surprised by Tom Brady's comments this week about why he chose Tampa? Because a lot of people were saying at the beginning of this whole thing going on that it was a money grab by the Glazers, that Brady was just here for money, and he legitimately just talks about how much of a great opportunity it was to join the Bucs, the players, the coaches, everything about it, and then on top of it being close to his son. Are you surprised by those comments, or is that just Tom Brady being the GOAT like he always is?
He's so good. The guy not only that's the thing about Tom Brady, the enigma that is Tom Brady. He's as great of a Madison Avenue marketer as he is a quarterback, as he is just everything across his life. And that has something to do with his wife, Giselle, the most beautiful witch of the West. She's incredible. And she's a witch. She admits it. She's a good witch. I mean, she still has Tom.
You said the Madison marketer. Did you say that? Because that's
shut up and be quiet.
Hey, Harry, by the way.
Follow it up by the beautiful witch. I mean, that's creative, Ray.
It was really creative there, Ray. I've never heard Giselle.
No, she's a witch. She's a good witch. I kid you not. She gives Tom.
That's with a W, okay, folks out there and kids. That's with a W, not a B.
You see, with this show, you just never know. You just really never know at this point. Definitely giving him, I guess you say some powers, but I just think it's TB.
Well, Peter,
12.
I mean, back to your original question,
right?
Talk about San Francisco. They had Garoppolo, who I think that of course, now Josh Rosen will be the starting quarterback in Frisco moving forward. Josh Rosen. That's for you, Ricky. Love you, brother.
Oh my
Or
God.
San Diego drafts. Oh my God. The quarterback in the first round,
Justin Herbert,
right. So I mean, he didn't well in Oakland or Vegas, but he really didn't have a whole lot of West Coast choices. I think if Frisco would have had a wide open coaching or open playing position, maybe TB12 TB now gives California, because that's where he's from. San Mateo is where his family, his mom and dad live. But as far as he wanted to go somewhere, stay East Coast, he came to the warm weather. I love it. I hear Giselle loves it here. I think the family can do well. Tampa Bay you could do a lot worse than Tampa Bay as a place to live. And I'm just happy that everything worked out the way it did. We're looking at, you guys, I don't know if you've seen it, AccuWeather calls for next Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, February 7th, 77 degrees and mostly sunny.
Beautiful.
I mean, come on.
Beautiful.
What else do you need?
Absolutely beautiful. Nothing you need. We got Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, Cup of Ray. What do you say here? Best of the Bay on the evolution of sports talk television. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Harry the Greek, my professional handicapper. Harry, you got a question for this guy?
Oh, I got many questions for Ray.
Easy, brother. Let's keep it sports related.
Sports related here, Harry the Greek.
It started with the witch comment. I mean, my God.
I mean,
Giselle, the wicked witch of the West, East. I'm sorry. She's awesome. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I mean it. I'm not being kind of condescending there.
Ray's infatuated, but Ray's also married. But every man is infatuated, and they want to be like Tom Brady. In fact, we had a webhead that came on here before at the beginning of this and said, I had a dream that I made more money than Tom Brady. And I said, look, man, you can dream that. At least you're not having nightmares. With all that being said, we also started out the show with a betting what? What was it? Is it $3.2 million on the Bucs here? $2.3 million bet on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as an underdog to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Tampa Bay Ray, you making that bet?
Oh, 7 days a week and twice on Sunday.
I agree, man. I agree. I feel good about that. If I had 2
Peter, they didn't come this far. And don't get me wrong, I'm not underselling Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and Kelsey and the thing that they're doing. Their defense does not come anywhere close. This defense, and Harry, I'll say this for you, Harry the Greek, I'll say the Chicago Bears, best defense of all time, never none better. And then the Ravens of 2000, right there with them. But there was nothing like those Midway, the monsters of Midway, and those Mike Ditka coached Bears. The Buccaneers in 2002 or 2003, the third best defense of all time. But this Buccaneers defense, you're not going to put them up there with those three, but make no doubt about it, this Buccaneers defense has gotten us to the Super Bowl, and Tom Brady and the leadership and made everyone believe. And since March, they were at Berkeley Prep. I mean, that's you can't put into words how important that was for this team. But make no bones about it, not for the defense.
That's a very, very good point, Roy. Well, my question is this: in that game that's going to be coming up, and honestly, do you agree with me? And just don't be the typical fan. I didn't say the FB word, but don't be the typical fan. Do you think Todd Bowles is going to come up with a different game plan against Tyreek Hill?
I do not. I know.
You think it's going to be the same game plan?
Well, look at what happened the first time, Harry. We let Tyreek. I wrote the article on here where Tyreek that got just a huge amount of hits on Bucs Report. And guys out there, guys and girls that are watching tonight, if you haven't seen it, go back and read that article. Search for it, the Tyreek article I wrote, and it got Harry and Peter. It got huge play on Bucs Report. Basically, it was the fact that he was fawning on NFL inside the NFL the following week. And it made reference to that sideline antic where he's on the phone and he's going back to Sterling or Shannon Sharp, Sterling's brother, the reference where he's calling on the phone saying they need help. They can't stop me. And it was true. That first quarter may have been like a Hall of Fame first quarter.
Yeah.
But hey, the Buccaneers of 2020 are bend but don't break. And, let them, the game ends up being a 3-point game. It wasn't that we got blown out and Kansas City didn't keep their foot on our throat. But make no bones about it, that we've got Vita Vea in there in the middle now. We've got Tom Brady now. He knows all the names of his offensive co-players. So co-teammates, I'm sorry. So, it's not like it was when we played them the first time around and the offense had barely found it. Remember, forget, the last loss we have was against these KC Chiefs.
Right.
And now we're coming back out 7 in a row. Now we've won. We're coming back to the Super Bowl 55. Karma is on our side.
Yeah, no, I agree. Definitely karma is on your side at this point. All right, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy. Anything else?
No, brothers. I'm loving the show tonight. You guys keep doing what you do, and I'll talk to you. And then Harry and I will be live from the deck at Bar and Grill at this on Sunday for a little Sunday morning special cup of Harry Ray the Greek or whatever we're calling it. And so we'll see you guys out there. And then don't forget, Bucs Report's got everyone covered from wire to wire, starting from you guys right now up through Super Bowl Sunday and even after the game when we're lifting that Lombardi Trophy.
All right, sounds good. Let me go ahead and fire those cannons for you right there, my friend. Let me go ahead and there you go. Thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate you. All right, boss?
Thank you, brother, for having me. See you guys later.
All right, there you go. Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, Cup of Ray, Best of the Bay. What do you say? And, of course, you guys will be live at the Deck Bar and Grill for a special edition of Cup of Ray. And who knows, maybe I'll call in or maybe chime in or something like that.
Actually, the show is going to be called Cup of Harry and Ray the Greek.
Oh, Cup of Harry and Harry the Greek. Okay.
No, Ray the Greek.
I don't know what you did.
That was like the joke. I'll explain later.
I messed it up. Okay. What's going on at the deck before the game? I'll be in town. Think you're coming in. Alex, definitely come in. We'll be live at the Deck Bar and Grill, getting you ready for your pre-show. The game starts at what? 6:30? 6:30? 7 o'clock. Which time? We're going to be on probably about 2 to 3 hours before. So get out there. We'll be there all day long. We'll be live on Bucs Report. So definitely check us out, Alex. Again, the Deck Bar and Grill will send you out that link. Don't worry. Brady and the boys will ball out and win. Let's see. Is that guy on Street Outlaws? Go Bucs, baby. I think he's talking about you there. I don't know. Russ says Hill was wide open many times in the last game. How do we fix this? So we talked about that. Christopher Cole says start fast and contain. Agree with that. Christopher Cole's on to something. Contain a Patrick Mahomes.
I agree with that. Christopher Cole is extremely smart when he comes down to, when it comes to football. And I've listened to a lot of conversations that he's had either calling or even writing in. The guy's usually pretty dead on.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
They have to come out of the gates fast against this team.
All right, let's go out to Todd. Todd, welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with Harry the Greek, my professional handicapper. You got a question for us?
Well, yeah, I do, Peter. And Harry, how y'all doing tonight, first of all?
Doing great, buddy. Doing great, getting ready. 8 days away from Bucs versus the Chiefs and Super Bowl 55.
Well, listen, I think you guys have been hitting on it all night. We got to stop Hill and Kelsey. And let me tell you something. Let me tell you a guy that I think is going to play a big role in this game. I think you all will agree with me. And he's the guy that's going to open up the guys that's going to rush and get to Mahomes. And that's Vita Vea.
I agree.
Vita Vea, when we lost him, our front four, they were not the same. It just wasn't the same. I mean, we played all right, but look what he accomplished against the.
Yeah.
He was in there 32 snaps,
Agree.
almost half the snaps.
Yeah.
And you got Barrett and you got Pierre-Paul that got, I think between them 6 sacks.
5 sacks.
Against the most valuable player in the league, Aaron Rodgers.
Yep. You got 3 sacks from Barrett and you got 2 from JPP. You're absolutely right. He had a major impact, and I feel like he could be the X factor defensively. We talk about those guys on the outside, and we can talk about them all night long, but at the end of the day, that interior pressure with the Sue, with the Vea, with a hurt offensive line, I think that's going to be a big-time key. And if you can get that interior pressure to stop Mahomes and get after him quick, and those outside guys can contain, boy, it could be a very interesting night for Mr. Mahomes. It could be.
Yeah, I agree with you, Peter. And like you say, with Fisher out, the right tackle don't look like he's going to play. That O-line is going to be banged up, and you know they cannot put one person on Vita Vea because he'll maul him.
Yeah,
he'll manhandle him, and I think that opens it up for Barrett and Pierre-Paul and Golson, and Devin White to rush every now and then.
I agree. I think that's a great point. I think it's a great point because you cannot single-handedly guard or defend, if you will, a Vita Vea. You're not going to be able to block him single-handedly. You're going to have to double and triple team him, and if you do that, there's going to be guys that are going to have the opportunity to win that one-on-one matchup, and that's what they have to do. They have to win those one-on-one matchups. If they can do that, then once again, it could be a long night for Mr. Mahomes. It could be. It could, because that's the thing you were missing in that first matchup, and you started to see that in the second half for some reason because guys started to win their matchups, but when you have Vita Vea coming into that game, I feel very confident with the way that defensive line played against the Green Bay Packers. I think it's a preview of what you could see versus the Chiefs next Sunday. I do.
Yes, I agree. And with to Harry's point, what he said a while ago, you cannot go with the same defensive plan that Todd Bowles had. Well, especially in the first half. The second half they made adjustments, but you cannot let go one-on-one with Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm.
He's just too fast. He is way too fast.
Yeah, I agree.
Fastest player in the league. And
over Scotty Miller, he's faster than Scotty Miller. Todd, you going to say that?
I think he's a tad faster than Scotty Miller. Yes,
he said a tad. So there you go. He said a tad. Okay,
but it's still
a tad. Yes.
Let me tell you something else, and I know you're going to agree with this. Our running game is going to set up our passing game. Fournette and Jones will play big roles Super Bowl Sunday to get our receivers in the open for Brady.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And I heard a guy say a while ago, Antonio Brown, I think he is going to play a very big role in this game. He will open it up for Evans and Godwin, but I think Brown has a huge game in the Super Bowl.
And I think it's certainly possible, especially if he's healthy. And, there's some question marks if he's going to be healthy, but you're definitely helped by the fact of having that extra week off. He's already had a couple weeks off. So you get that extra week off. Hopefully that knee's ready to go. And of course, Antonio Brown is going to be able to play in prime time on the biggest stage out there in Super Bowl 55. So you would expect him to do something fantastic, especially if both of those wide receivers are locked down. And look, there's no telling. This defense is not that good, and I think this is another good matchup that favors that Tampa Bay offense. But let's say Kansas City does find some way to shut down a Mike Evans and a Chris Godwin, then that's where Antonio Brown opens up, and that's where I feel like that chemistry with a Brady and a Brown can really take off in this game. Anything else, Todd?
No, I think you all have been hitting it all night. You all have been sharp all night as usual.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, and let's take a deep breath this whole week and try to relax and get ready for next Sunday because it's hyping up every single day. It gets more and more hyped up, and I see you, Harry. Yeah, take a deep breath. Absolutely, brother. You guys have a great night. Thank you so much.
All right, man. Appreciate you, Todd. There you go. Let me go ahead and fire those cannons. Woo! Absolutely. Thanks a lot for the call. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. All right, let's read these comments.
I just love that guy, Pierre.
I do too. I would expect a lot of quick passes to Kelsey and Hill as a result of those weakened offensive lines. They're expecting us to bring the house. Those coaches get paid too, absolutely. Coffin says the Bucs have unicorns in Candy Mountain. If Patrick enters Candy Mountain, we'll steal his kidney. Okay. The truth says Rojo loose hands scare me. I'm seeing too many drops by Bucs players that haven't played in the playoffs. Well, Rojo has played in the playoffs, been productive, not as productive as playoff Lenny. Really quick, want to get to these comments in care of ESPN. But this is what was Bruce talking about playoff Lenny. It's very, very hard when you're a superstar and you're the focal point of the offense, and then you come to a different team and you're basically a role player for a while. It's very hard. It's a really hard role to accept. And then on top of it, I said, I told him, this team is special. You're a huge part of it. And then also embrace your role. You never know when your role is going to change. And then Rogue gets hurt. He gets COVID, and then he gets hurt again. And I'm really proud of Leonard and how he's handled this. So, comments again from Bruce Arians, how much they depended on him. And you never know when Rojo got hurt, when he got COVID. It was definitely a bigger role for Leonard Fournette, a playoff Lenny. And he's definitely stepped up, and he's been one of the main keys of this rushing offense that has opened up that pass play action for Tom Brady.
Yeah, without question. I can finish that, that comment in one sentence. Rojo just can't catch a break this year.
It's a shame, right?
He just can't catch a break. The guy's just a phenomenal, dynamic running back. He does have better hands than what he's showing, and I don't anticipate them throwing him a lot of balls out of the backfield because of the finger. Fournette, I think, is going to be taking the workload of the passes, but I got a funny feeling that Rojo is going to dominate on the ground in this game, even over Leonard Fournette.
I think he could. I definitely think he could. And also, if you look at the first game, he had that big play. I think it was like 37 yards that gave them a spark. Let's go out to the phone lines. Welcome to the Evolution.
No, I didn't.
Welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with Harry the Greek, my professional handicapper, Mr. Curtis from Newport Richie. Welcome to the Evolution. How you doing tonight, buddy?
What's up, brother?
What's going on, buddy? You excited about this game next Sunday night?
Man, listen, I'm more excited than I can't say. I don't know. I shouldn't say that. Anyways, I'm very excited. Let me just say that I'm a little messed up, dude. I've been drinking, and
how much you been drinking tonight, there, Curtis? It reminds me of the old days on 10:10 a.m. doing my first radio job when it was 11 o'clock at night to 1 a.m. All you would get would be drunk people calling in talking about either losses or how much they drank or just something off the wall, somewhat like Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, almost.
Well, I've been drinking Crown Royal apple and cranberry juice.
Oh, okay.
And then I visited the dispensary today.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And if I see Patrick Mahomes, I'm going to RKO him.
Wow, you're going to RKO him. So you're going to give him the Randy Orton. Let me go ahead and give you this.
Woo!
I love it. I love that. I love it.
Man. I'm just super excited about this game, man. And I got something I want to say. Is Mr. Harry here? Yeah, Mr. Harry's here.
Yeah, Harry's here. You got a question for him, my professional handicapper? Go ahead.
Harry, what do you think about the Bucs defense holding Kansas City to 20 points or less?
20 points or less percentage here, Harry the Greek. Are you going to give that away? I mean, give me a little something here. How are you feeling about this? Is that what the Bucs defense has to basically do here, Harry? Is hold this Kansas City Chiefs offense in line, in check to 20 points. And if they can do that, then of course you think this Bucs offense will have the advantage to outscore Kansas City's defense, right?
He just got me to put my thinking cap on. That's another creative way, by the way, to try to get me to give you a pick. But I'm going to tell you.
Hey, Harry, who loves you, man? I always try to get you guys to think. Y'all have me thinking all the time. That's why I come up with these great questions.
That's good. That's good. We can make you think instead of make you tune out. That's not
Absolutely.
My wife is a little angry with me, but she'll get over it.
We got to meet your wife. I'm going to salute your wife. Tell her
No,
thanks.
you know what, dude? My birthday is the day before the Super Bowl, so I'm going to be destroyed somewhere the day before the Super Bowl.
Well, be safe now. And I'll tell you right now, you should come out. You should save that, and you should do it on Super Bowl Sunday. But do it safely.
I might do that.
Just get an Uber or something. Yeah.
So do I think that they're going to hold them to 20 points or less? Let me answer this. Let me answer it this way. I love the over in the game, and the over and under right now is about 56 points. So do I think they're going to hold them to 20? Well, if they do, I sure as hell hope that Tampa scores at least 37. I do like the over, so I'm sure that'll give you my actual opinion on that.
There you go.
Because here's my thing. I've been watching I always watch Peter and Ray Kennedy and everybody, and I've been on my Bucs app watching, the little updates and stuff. And the thing that bothers me is that everybody's like, Patrick Mahomes has only thrown 5 interceptions this year. He's thrown 600 passes. Yeah, but that doesn't count almost interceptions. See, if every ball got picked off that was a mistake that he's throwing, he'd have more than 5 interceptions.
Oh, agree.
Okay?
I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks you could put that out there, and that's the key to my game plan is, look, if you have those opportunities here, then you have to take advantage of them, Curtis. And if you let them go by the wayside, then basically they get a second chance. They're going to make you pay for it. That's the difference.
Yep.
And that was the difference in the Green Bay game. You look at the Green Bay game. Tom Brady threw a wounded duck, and it got dropped by the defender. And what happened next? Well, Tom Brady made you pay for it with a touchdown. So that's what happens when you miss out.
Listen, we had this conversation. I think it was Wednesday. I love myself some Sean Murphy Bunting. But I want to talk about Carlton Davis. I'm going to tell you something. I love that kid because he doesn't always catch his interceptions. But if he gets his hands on the ball, he always knocks the ball down.
Yep.
I love that about Carlton Davis.
I love it too. I think he's semi-aggressive.
That kid plays his heart out against the number ones all the time. Because if you go back and you look at Michael Thomas's stats against the Bucs this year,
nothing.
You're going to be like, where was he?
Zilch. Nothing. That was the key. It's it. Mr. Slant. That's
wicked, but nobody's perfect. And that starting offensive tackle missing is going to be a big thing.
Both starting offensive tackles, and I think that's where the X factor is. And I'm going to continue to say that. Avita Vea in that middle, Mount Vea.
Well, and that's another thing. Vita didn't play in that game.
Nope.
To get that pressure up the middle.
Yep.
And did Leonard Fournette play that game?
I think Leonard Fournette did play in that game. Didn't play very well. In fact, he missed a blitz, which cost Brady to throw an interception. I best remember that. And Ronald Jones was the one that had the big play. So Leonard Fournette played in that game, just didn't play very well. Very ineffective.
Ronald Jones will run for about 80 yards.
Huh?
I said Ronald Jones will probably run for at least 80 yards in this game.
I think it's certainly possible, and I think you could have a long one versus this Kansas City defense. What do you say?
I agree, and I think that Mike Evans is going to abuse one of their cornerbacks.
Well, happened in the first matchup, did it not? He had a touchdown in that game. I think he had a couple of touchdowns in that game. So,
and now that Antonio Brown is better equipped with the offense, I think that is going to be, because actually it's funny today that I was talking to my cousin about this because he was talking about Steve Spagnuolo and the games where the Patriots the Giants beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and I said, he's like, that you can't compare this Bucs offense to that Patriots offense. I said, actually, you can. Now, don't get me wrong. Mike Evans is no Randy Moss.
Right.
Not yet.
No.
But
he's better.
if you go back and you look at that roster, besides Moss and Welker and Gronk, they still don't have the type of weapons that the Bucs have.
You're right, and they had Star Wars too. I mean, look, their defense was talented, but to compare Kansas City's defense to that New York Giants defense is criminal. You look at that Giants defense. They had a Michael Strahan, who of course turned into a Hall of Famer. You have a Justin Tuck and OCU and Nora. They just had so many guys that could get after it on that defensive line and just cause havoc. I don't see that with this Kansas City defense, although, it's an interesting point here, Harry the Greek, that we really didn't mention that we'll get into more probably next week, as Steve Spagnuolo having his success with the New York Giants against a Tom Brady in the Patriots, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to talk a little bit more about that next week, and I could be a smidge more prepared on that one.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. Well, we're always prepared here on the Sports Web.
I'm not going to dwell into it because you guys say you're going to talk about it next week, but I will say this.
Yes.
I like our interior offensive line. I love, how I feel about Jensen and Marpet. And that young kid now, he's playing his ass off. Excuse my French.
Yeah, no, well, I like your French. French is good. He's definitely been very, very good, and that would be Aaron Stenny at the right guard spot. You really haven't heard much about him, and that's a good thing, because if you hear about an offensive line, it means they're not playing well. And I think that's probably been one of the most key aspects to this run in the postseason, with them being able to protect a Tom Brady, give him the necessary time. And of course, they got their challenge with Chris Jones in that middle with that interior line. And it's important. We talk about it all the time. If you can, hold that interior pressure at bay and not have it get into a Tom Brady's face, you feel like you'll definitely be more successful with Brady in this offense, right?
And I want to ask Mr. Harry another question.
Yes, go ahead.
How long have you been handicapping, Mr. Harry?
It's going to show my age right now.
This is a two-parter. I'm sorry.
I have been handicapping for roughly 30 years.
30 years. There you go.
Okay. My comment was, I was telling y'all I had my conversation with my cousin earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Tom Brady. This is more of a comment. But Tom Brady does not lose in December and January. And I've been telling people this: when we lost to Kansas City, then we lost to the Rams. I believe that's how it went.
Mm-hmm.
Or we lost to the Rams and then we lost to Kansas City. However it was,
correct.
We were 75.
Sure.
But we were rolling. We had our bye week and we were rolling into December. And I said, here's the thing. If you go back and you look at Tom Brady's record in December and January, this guy does not lose. It's like the competitive juices and the adrenaline starts flowing through this guy, and he lights a fire up under his own ass to light a fire up under his team. And I remember at the beginning of the year, he promised Chris Godwin a Super Bowl.
Yep.
Just for his number.
Sure.
Just for the number.
Yep.
And this guy is damn near finna deliver.
He is. And as Skip Bayless would say, he's Psycho Tom. That's Psycho Tom right there. That's a guy that is not going to be stopped. That competitive fire. Look, he's had his losses in the playoffs in the postseason, but not this year. You could see it, how basically he's galvanized this team. And then on top of it, they're playing complementary football. If he had turnovers like he did against Green Bay, the defense was able to get the offense off the field, hold them down in the red zone, hold them to field goals, and that has been the point. The aggressiveness of this defense has carried over to this offense. The offensive aggressiveness has carried over to this defense. The special teams have been right where they have been all year long, and that's the reason why they're in Super Bowl 55 and will continue to be a competitive team and a Super Bowl contender because of that fire and that competitiveness by Tom Brady.
And so that last part of that question is, Mr. Harry, is whose defense do you like better? Did you like the Green Bay's defense or the Kansas City defense better?
Yeah, that's not even a question. Green Bay's defense is better than Kansas City's.
Way better.
No, I wouldn't say way better, but they are better.
And this is kind of the point we went into, right? I mean, Washington football team was a tough defense. The Bucs shut them down. They get past New Orleans. That's a tough defense. They're able to get past them. And then we felt like that matchup versus the Green Bay Packers, that defense wasn't as tough as New Orleans. And we saw that even though there were 3 turnovers in that game, you would have to agree, Harry, that the offense basically did whatever they wanted to. And then on top of it, you go to Kansas City. I guess you could stack them up. Is Kansas City's defense as talented as Green Bay? Are they as talented as New Orleans? Are they as talented as the Washington football team? And in all cases, I would say no.
Well, you're absolutely correct with that. First off, New Orleans was the best defense in the National Football League this year. My opinion. That's what I'm watching, and that's what I'm seeing. From the pass rush to stopping the run, they have people that fly the football all over the place.
I agree with you so much, Mr. Harry.
Now, Washington has an extraordinary front four. They have decent linebackers and a very young secondary. They create a lot of pressure. I think the moment was a little bit too big for that young defensive team. That will not be the same defensive team next year, but they were not prepared for what the Buccaneers brought. Now, as far as Green Bay is concerned, they're a middle of the road defense, but let's not call Kansas City horrible. They're not as good as the Green Bay Packers. And they essentially have the same defense that took them to the Super Bowl last year or got them there as well as that offense. But let's make no bones about it. They're not as bad as what's south of them down in Houston. Let's not make them look like they're the Houston Texans as a defense where they can't stop anybody or including the Atlanta Falcons. But they do struggle against the run. They do struggle against the pass.
Yeah, I was going to say that. When I was watching something today, it was talking about them giving up 4.5 yards a carry on the running game.
Yeah.
And they have the worst red zone defense in the NFL.
I think that's an advantage to this red zone offense of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We shall see, but again, we'll be breaking down all these matchups over and over again next week. So definitely, Curtis, keep on calling on the Evolution.
I'm going to let y'all go, but I'm going to tell you, I love your prediction of Ronald Jones having 80 yards. I'm going to go as far as saying him and Fournette are both going to have 80 yards.
Well, the over and under, I'm going to tell you right now, is probably going to be somewhere in the 60 range for Ronald Jones. I don't know that yet because those lines are not out, but I'm not anticipating it going to be very high. So I know a lot of people that gamble, they know how to read between the lines with me when I'm speaking, so that when they do look at a proposition bet, hopefully they remember when I says I think he's going to run for 80 yards. So if it comes in, say at 55 or 60, definitely bet the over because it really is going to happen. I mean, it's almost a no-brainer on that.
All right.
I hope they run it now. Kansas City's throw.
I think that to me, that's the game plan that has worked for them in this postseason, and I think it's going to work again, and it's going to be the reason why the Bucs will beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
As long as we don't give Patrick Mahomes the ball last. And if he does get the ball last, we need to be up by at least 8 or 9. Then I feel comfortable.
All right, good stuff, Curtis. Let me go ahead and fire those cannons for you right there, my friend. And of course, let me go ahead and do this right here.
I'm going to go in here and have a couple shots for y'all. But hey,
hold on. I got one thing for Curtis.
Yes.
Curtis, while I'm sitting live on the air, I want you to pour one. Let me hear the ice cubes crackling and just do a shot for me.
Hurry up. Do it. Come on.
Hold on one
Here we go. Come on, Curtis. Get there. I need to play like some music or something.
Curtis.
What's going on, man? Hey, get out of my business, man.
Curtis right now. Right. Stay out of my business. Did you just say stay out of my business? He just said stay out of my business. That's funny. We're listening to all this stuff right now.
Oh, let me get the ice ready.
All right, get the ice ready. Come on.
I'm finna pour a drink for my fellows, man. I'm finna take a shot of this Remy Martin right here.
Do it.
Oof.
That's right. For the show.
All right. Let's hear it.
Hold on, guys. I got some ice. I got a cup.
I can hear the ice cubes.
Oh, I can hear it too. I can hear it.
And just swish it around in that nice cold cup.
No, I'm finna drink this cup. I'm finna have a shot for all my Bucs fans and for Peter and for Harry.
Do it.
And then I might go to Denny's to get me an omelet.
All right, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Don't have any vegetables in that omelet, by the way. Just do bacon and cheese. Don't do too much.
That omelet's going to look really good in about 3 hours.
I'm telling you, it is. It is. All right, you taking it?
Shot is poured.
Okay.
This is for you.
That's my boy right there, man. That's long.
Woo!
All right, my friend. Good stuff. Let me go ahead and fire that right there.
All right, guys. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right, appreciate you. Let's keep on going out to the phone lines. My former co-host from a radio station in a galaxy far, far away, Mr. Sean, the Sports Don. You're on with yours truly, along with my professional handicapper, Mr. Harry the Greek. What do you have to say tonight? Welcome. Are you there?
Must be your phone, Peter. Take it off of mute.
It's not on mute. I'm telling you. Hold on. All right. Hello, Sean. Well, I guess he's not there. I have to call back, Sean. I don't know what happened. All right, let's read these comments. We'll see if we can get him back there. Let's see here. Say Rojo has had a huge catch and run against KC. All right, let's go out to Sean, the Sports Don. Sean, welcome to the Evolution.
What's going on, Spider?
What's going on? You're on with yours truly, along with Harry the Greek, my professional handicapper. What do you think, buddy? Bucs versus the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 55. Still hard to believe, right?
Well, it's not hard to believe because we're here now. So now we got to stop talking about it's hard to believe because we're here now. So we're here, and we're here to win it all.
Well, here's what I got to say to you, buddy, okay? This is my show, all right? How about that? I think it's hard to believe to some fans right now, okay? So you shut up. Now, go ahead. Oh, he hung up. Oh, Sean.
Wow.
Oh, my God. He hung up. Wow.
Sean, he didn't mean it, bro.
Did he take a shot too? I think he got.
I think he's hanging with Curtis.
He's calling back. What are you taking shots and hanging up on me? What's going on?
No, I didn't hang up. I think I lost you.
I think you did. You need to stop purchasing your phone at 7-Eleven. That's the problem, buddy.
Ooh, that's
hey, listen, it's the pandemic, so I ain't got the money right now.
No track phones, all right? No, you got to stay away from those track phones, buddy. None of that.
Curtis would say was the damn-bemic.
What's going on with you, man? I listen. Let me tell you something, brother. I really believe, honestly, I think the Bucs have a great chance today. And I know a lot of people are obviously going with the Chiefs, but here's the thing. You know, I'm a defensive guy. I don't know if I've ever told you that before.
Yeah, you've said that about 1,000 times in the times that I've been able to host the show with you. This guy is a defensive guy, and he'll say it twice in a conversation to make it known. You're exactly right. You got to be a defensive guy because defense wins championships, right?
Here's the thing. You got to understand, you know, when the Bucs beat the Saints a couple weeks ago, with these last 4 teams, the Bucs had the best defensive team that was left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so because of that, when you have the best defensive team, you have the best chance of winning. And I really believe right now the Bucs have a very good chance of winning this game because while both the Chiefs and the Bucs can score, I do believe the Bucs have a better defensive team that's on the field. And I think that may give us the edge. Now, obviously, you got to worry about the Chiefs offensively, but outside of maybe the honey badger and maybe the guy on the defensive end, can you really think about how many defensive players the Chiefs have? You can't really talk about it. But with the Bucs, you can talk about JPP. You can talk about Sue. You can talk about Barrett. You can talk about Levante David. You can talk about Devin White. And so here's the thing. I think that's going to come down to that. I think both teams can score a lot of points, but who can keep those other guys from scoring a lot of points? And obviously the Chiefs are going to be tough because you got a quarterback that can make plays when things break down. And the Bucs going to have to be very, very, very careful with that. And obviously Tom Brady is not that type of guy. But if we give him the time to throw the ball, which we've been giving him, the last 7-8 weeks. We can win this game because our defense is probably going to tip the scale into our favor, and I think that's why the Bucs have the advantage this week.
No,
or next week.
No worry about Chris Jones or Tyrann Mathieu or Frank Clark is playing this year. Is he still on that defense? Because I haven't heard much about him. But you're exactly right. I think comparing those defenses that the Bucs played. What did you do? Did you steal something?
He went through the 7-Eleven line.
I think that's what he did there, Sean. What are you doing?
Put your phone back, Sean.
I'm with you. You guys hear me? Am I chopping up?
No, we heard an alarm in the background there. We thought you were.
Daddy always said he was Dom the sports con. I mean, that's what he said.
You know what? You are not allowed to say that to me.
I didn't say that. I said his daddy said that.
Yeah,
you're not allowed to say that to me, sir.
I got to get that soundbite. I got that soundbite somewhere. Trust me, I got it somewhere.
You have it. I'm gonna tell you something else, guys, that I was looking at, because I've been really trying to look at this game and try to really figure out some things. But here's something else I will tell you about this game. The Chiefs are not very good at stopping the run.
Nope.
Okay.
We talked about that tonight.
They're not good at that.
Nope.
Okay, so again, we're talking about a team with the Bucs where you have Ronald Jones and you have playoff Lenny, by the way, that we can do that. And that's going to change the narrative. And with the Bucs, I think what the Bucs need to do from a defensive standpoint, they need to play 2 under. And what I mean, you have your 2 safeties deep, and then you obviously we can stop the run with our front 7. We don't need safety help to stop the run, and I think that's going to change the dynamic. We can still play man under with 2 deep safeties, and I think that's going to help us a lot. And when we go with the Chiefs, I don't think the Chiefs can stop the run unless they bring someone down in the box. And if they got to bring someone down in the box, if Antonio Brown is healthy, and if you have Chris Godwin, who he's going to do what he does. Obviously, I'm the president of the Chris Godwin fan club.
Of course you are.
And then
got posters all over the place.
Of course I do. And then you have Mike Evans, who obviously you already know. I think Mike Evans is a top 5 wide receiver. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. I think the Bucs can actually. I think the Bucs, and this is going to be something, guys, you haven't heard it on any other podcast or any other TV show.
Whoa.
No, listen what I'm about to say.
This is not a podcast, by the way.
I know, but I'm saying you've not heard it on any other podcast. You haven't heard it on any other TV show. You haven't heard it anywhere. I think the Bucs will win this game, and they will win it in big-time fashion. And it may be 38-31, but if it's 38-31, the 31 points that the Chiefs score is going to be like it was already a done deal a long time ago.
I like it.
I think the Bucs win this game, and I think they win it going away.
I think he's
That's
right.
why I say the game goes over. Here's another prediction. Every score that everybody has given me so far is still over the 56. Dom, I'm telling you. Bet the over in this game. I don't know if you're a gambling man. Bet the over.
Bet the over on that. All right, Harry, I tell you what, we're going to get you out of here, buddy. Thanks a lot for coming on the Evolution, my professional handicapper, Mr. 88%, going up to 89, 90%. Appreciate the time, and we'll see you on Sunday at the Deck Bar and Grill. All right, boss?
Good night.
Are you get me out of here, or are you getting the handicapper?
I'm getting the handicapper out of here. What do you have to say?
I get to stay on.
You get to stay on for a little bit, yes, if you want to.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey, listen.
Just don't bug me.
Handicapper. I'm going to do that now. Tell me now, because I'm broke. So how much money do you think I should spend on that over?
Let me bring him back. Okay, how much? How much should he spend on that over?
Because I'm broke.
Never ever bet them above your means. Okay,
there you go.
So if you want to bet, let's just say you want to make a few extra dollars and you want to make a parlay and you want your return. Let's just say you want to bet $20. Okay, so if you bet 20 on the over, you're only going to win 20. But if you take the Buccaneers getting the 3 points, which I didn't say that's what I liked, but I did give everybody the over. Now you're going to get 2.5 times your money. So if you bet 20, you'll get back close to almost $50. So 100 gets you back 250, 260.
There you go.
You can get you back 20-some hundred. You know, it just keeps going on in increments like that.
All right. Thanks a lot. Appreciate you, Harry. There we go. We'll get him out of here. He's got to get to bed. So, yeah, man, that's the lowdown. Anything else, bud? Are you there?
Are you asking me or are you asking?
No, I'm asking you. I'm asking you. He's gone now. Anything else? What else, buddy?
Are you getting me out of here or are you getting out of here?
No. I'm going to read the comments. I'm not out of here yet. Definitely not out of here yet. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm with you. I'm ready to talk with you, brother.
Oh, you ready to talk with me? All right. Well, I'll tell you what.
Yes,
let's keep you on here. Let's go out to the comments. Read some of these comments. I'll read them to you. I would expect a lot of quick passes to Kelsey and Hill as a result of their weakened offensive line. They're expecting us to bring the house. Their coaches get paid too. That's a good comment because you come into this game being the Chiefs without both of your starting tackles, with the Fisher being out, with the Schwartz being out. So it definitely gives the Bucs defensive line, once again, Sean, an advantage with Shaq Beard on the outside, of course, having JPP, and then, of course, Mount Vea in the middle. And Sue, you would think that this line is definitely going to be able to get after Mr. Mahomes, right?
Well, I think they should be able to get after Mr. Mahomes. And you got to remember, the last time we played the Chiefs, we did not have Mount Vea. And you know who else we did not have? We did not have Jamel Dean.
Correct.
So all of those things are going to be a factor in this game. And that's why I say I tip it to, because listen, whenever we talk about the Chiefs, and I don't mean us, I mean nationally, they never talk about what the defense does. It's always about what the offense does. But if you look at nationally, they will always talk about the Bucs. They will definitely talk about Tom Brady. They will definitely talk about our weapons, but they always go back to the defense and talk about what the defense has, because the defense has, again, Levante David, Devin White, Sue, Shaq Barrett and stuff like that. And I don't know if I get that. And I've been looking at these. I've been looking at it, and I never hear them talk about the Chiefs' defense. It's always about their offense. And it kind of reminds me of when we played the Raiders. It was never talked about what the defense, even though they had Charles Woodson over there, even though they had a couple guys over there, but they never talked about their defense. It was always about, well, this offense is so good, but they never brought up the defense. With the Bucs, you bring up the offense, and you got people that are saying that the reason why the Bucs are in the Super Bowl is because of their defense. And I'm telling you, I think that tips the cap to the Bucs.
I agree. I got another question for you. Where are you going to be on Super Bowl Sunday? You're going to be at the Deck Bar and Grill? You're going to get on one of these camera shots here and do the evolution like you should? Or are you going to stay at home?
Bro, I'm telling you, I'm still trying to get into the stadium. And if I can get into that stadium, I got a couple dollars in my pocket that I'm willing to spend. Now, obviously, I'm not spending no $25,000, $30,000 into that. But if somebody tell me I need $1,500, trust me, I'm not rich, but I'm telling you, I think I got $1,500, because here's the thing. My daddy went to the Buccaneers football Super Bowl in 2003, and he brought my brother with him because his company gave my daddy tickets, and he called my brother. I was broke at the time, and my brother was able to obviously get money to pay a ticket to get a flight to get out there to San Diego, and they watched it. But me and my other brother, we're trying to get in here. But if somebody tell me I gotta pay $1,500, I'm in there.
Okay.
I'm in there. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Well, I'm saying if you can't get in there, you got a seat. It's ready for you here at the Deck Bar and Grill in Isla del Sol. We'll get you on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Tell you what, I want to get an old friend here. He knows who you are. Well, actually, I get the dude on here. Dude, welcome to the evolution. You got Sean the Sports Don, my former co-host at a radio station in a galaxy far, far away. What do you think about that, huh?
Well, I had to jump in here and say, hey, Sean, how you doing, buddy? Peter, how you doing? Everybody out there watching in the interweb. Hey, is there a big game coming up, Peter?
Yeah, it's Super Bowl
Maybe.
55. Still Sean. He's talking about
Maybe.
it. There maybe is a big game next Sunday.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe a big game. Yeah, just saying.
Okay, wanted to jump on real quick. Thank the guys from the Sports Dude podcast. Of course, Harry the Greek. Shout out earlier from tonight to Gene from Buck What You Heard, Christina, the Tampa Sports Bay, and of course Michael Pless from Real Bucks Talk. Just kind of wanted to jump on here and say, hey everybody, join us down at the deck for Super Bowl Sunday. Good food, good drinks, great company, more TVs than you can shake a stick at. Get down there, support the Bucs, watch them win the Super Bowl. I just wanted to jump in and say hey to Peter. Appreciate Sean for coming on, and make sure you guys tune in. We're going to start our
prediction. What's your prediction?
Well, you can't give a prediction yet. He's going to wait on that prediction because we got a pre-show at the Deck Bar and Grill.
He can give it. Oh, okay. No, okay. Never mind.
My prediction as of right now, I'll have to quote the famous Mr. T, a.k.a. Clubber Lang, and say, pain.
Pain. I still go with that.
I love it.
I will go with that.
Hey,
and I hope it is.
Hey,
I
dude!
hope it's a lot of pain.
Hey, dude! Don't you think we should get Sean on the camera there so he can try to fix that camera shot on him? The last time he was on here, we got to fix the camera shot for him.
Yeah. Sean needs to come on camera. He's got such a beautiful smile, and I really think the people out here would love to be able to put a face with the voice and the greatness that is Sean the Sports Don. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, and I know, and I told him I invited him out there to the Deck Bar and Grill for our pre-half and post-game editions of the Sports Web so we can get him some wangs, as he would say. Maybe some adult beverages and some good times.
Know it's going to be some adult beverages now. Come on, and some wangs?
And some wangs. Well, hey, look, you're trying to get into the stadium, get all COVID out and you're scared of COVID. I'm just saying we're COVID safe there at the Deck Bar and Grill. We got your mask ready to go. We got your seat ready in front of a camera. You can sit there and talk all day long. I can push the mute button on you. I can push all these buttons like this right here. Push the mute button. Push all these buttons on you. But we'll definitely love to have you on. You get a chance again to meet Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, Harry the Greek, all the guys from Bucs Report. I mean, what are you missing out on besides a good time?
Here's the question I have for you. You know what? Because obviously we haven't done the show. What was 3 years ago?
It's been 3 years. It seems like. It seems like we did it for 30 years. Yeah.
Yeah, 3 years. So obviously we did a lot of shows. Obviously I was like laughing about, the Bucs gonna go to the playoffs, whatever. Let me ask you this: how do you feel seeing the Bucs? And listen, it's never been done before. The Bucs getting to the Super Bowl, and by the way, it's in their hometown.
Right.
Tell the fans how you feel to be able to sit here and you're hosting the show, you're doing big things, and you get to talk about the Bucs being in the Super Bowl, and it's in their hometown. You grew up here just like I did. Tell me, how do you feel, and how does this make you feel, sir?
It's a dream come true. I mean, it really is. I mean, we talked about this for years. We did radio shows together. We went through the bad. We went through the ugly. And now we're going through the great. We're seeing the greatest of all time lead this team into the promised land and in his own stadium. It's unbelievable. To tell you the truth, I was asking people the other night, fans, about this. Do you appreciate this run more than you appreciate the first run? And I got to tell you, I kind of do. I mean, I love that team back in 2002 with their defense, but I don't think there was as many question marks with that team as there has been with this team in 2020 with the pandemic, with all the question marks if there would even be an NFL season. And then you have a first-year quarterback who's talked about on a daily basis of, basically he's lost it, he's washed up. You have a bad start by this Bucs team, and then they show flashes of brilliance, and then they're 7-5, and nobody thinks that they're going to make the playoffs now. Everybody thinks the defense is the biggest question mark. You have a field goal kicker in one game who misses extra points and kicks. So at that point, it's almost like I have Bucs traumatic stress disorder because I'm watching this team and I'm listening to these fans. So to me, it's still unbelievable. But I got to tell you something, not to pat myself on the back. I've been saying it since March. It was Super Bowl or a bust. And the reason why I said that is because this organization, this ownership decided to take it into their own hands by going out there, getting a Tom Brady, getting a Gronkowski, getting a Fournette, getting a Brown, re-signing these defensive players. And you feel like if all those things could come together, especially with this coaching staff and Bruce Arians and Todd Bowles, that it was going to be a special season. And to me, it feels unbelievable because I get an opportunity to do this on a nightly basis with Bucs Report, with Webheads, with guys that watch this show and actually care about what I have to say and won't talk over me, Sean, the sports Don. I'm just saying, I love it. I'm absolutely.
And here's the thing too, Spider, because we talk off air too. A lot of people don't know that we still talk off air, and I don't know if you guys know. If you guys ever listen to our show, we would argue on the show all the time. But guess what? We argue we always told you guys back in the day, you should hear our off the camera, all the things to hear how we talk to each other. Now, I will say, getting Tom Brady, I told you that wasn't enough. Remember what I told you? It wasn't enough.
Sure, you did.
And when we got Gronk, I said, you know what? I don't know, because I think we had other things we needed to get accomplished, and I think we had great tight ends. I don't know if Gronk was that guy. And obviously, Gronk has come in, and obviously the way he's blocked. Okay, I'm wrong on that. But I also said,
whoa, wait a minute. Did you just say you're wrong? Holy stuff. Let me go ahead and fire those cannons right there. Because you never say that. I never hear Sean the Sports Don say that. Let me go ahead and do this right there, because that's awesome. That's awesome, Sean.
Yeah, I was wrong.
I'm saving that.
Listen, we don't need to get Gronk because we have two tight ends. Like, we need to do other things, because I said, listen, let's go and get Antonio Brown. If we're going to go all in, we got to go get Antonio Brown. I was a big proponent of that before we picked up Antonio Brown 8 weeks later. I said, let's go get Leonard Fournette, because I was saying, if we're going all in, let's go all in.
Right.
Hats off to the Bucs for going all in. But now I will go back to what we used to do when we were talking, when we was like, hey, let's go sign this guy. I'm like, well, we don't need to sign that guy because we're not that guy away from winning the Super Bowl. What the Bucs did today, or not today, but this year, is they realized they had a very good team. And why they realized that? Because Tom Brady said, you made a right call by calling me. He already picked us out as a team he wanted to go to. He saw what we had. He's like, I want to come here. Let me come here. And it has manifested itself because not only did we get him here, and we didn't just stop there and say we got Tom Brady, because we just stopped there, we probably wouldn't be in this position. But the Bucs said, you know what? We have drafted well these last 3-4 years. Now let's go and put a roof on this thing. And you go back to when we were talking, when we were doing our shows, I always said, I don't think the Bucs are Mario Williams away from winning the Super Bowl or stuff like that.
Mario Williams.
Right now, what we've done. But yeah, remember, because you won Mario Williams.
Of course.
Right now, though, what we were a very good team. Obviously, we had bad kicking. James threw 30 interceptions, but you could see we did not give up. Remember how I was like, hey, let's not just get rid of this. Like, stop turning over. Let's stop turning over the thing, because anybody that comes in, any GM, they're going to turn it over. They're going to change. They're going to do what they want to do. We got a GM that has learned a little bit, and guess what? These last 3 years, these last 3 drafts he's had, they have been on the money, because all of those guys, all of them, are actually making a difference in the terms of how we play. and they're making big plays. And guys, that's a big deal. So when you talk about building through the draft, this is what we're talking about. So when you do go make that big time free agent signing in Tom Brady and getting Gronk and saying, okay, come over here, what's my boy name? The wide receiver. When you go get him
Antonio
and you bring
Brown,
him in,
right.
now you see why we are a great team and we can win. And oh, by the way, guys, we are the first team ever
in 54 years in NFL history to host their own Super Bowl and play in it. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Did you have any problem with them wearing white uniforms? I mean, they're 5-0. Go with the.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you brought that up. Yes, I tweeted at the Bucs about that because, first of all, I'm gonna tell you why I tweeted at the Bucs about that. Because at the very beginning of the season, they put out their whole jersey uniforms for the whole season.
Sure.
And they had 9 games where we were wearing white on white. And we had 4 games where we were wearing, our red jerseys and the pewter pants. And then we had obviously the all pewter jerseys. And everybody that was on Twitter was like, well, why are we not wearing our white on pewter? Like, that's stupid. Like, you don't even have one white on pewter.
Yeah.
And so the Bucs, obviously, they felt the heat because of that. And then during the middle of the season, it was like, okay, we're going to wear some white on pewter. And we saw that coming to fruition. Coming into the Super Bowl, I was a little pissed off because they had the opportunity. They were the home team, and they get to say, we can wear what we want to wear. And I was a little bit pissed off that they did not choose to wear the red on pewter because if you're at home, let's do that. Because we wait all season to wear the red.
Sure.
We wait all – but if that's what they want to go to, they're using their superstition, let's do it because at the end of the day, it don't really matter what you're wearing.
Well,
It matters what.
How about firing cannons? Do you think that the NFL should allow the home team to fire their cannons when they score, or is that not being neutral enough?
Well, I tell you this, I don't know what the rule is. I haven't heard it, and maybe you may have more rules against me that I don't know. But I think if we're at home, we should be able to fire those cannons. If they don't allow us to, but at the end of the day, we should be able to fire those cannons because we home, baby. Fire the cannons. Fire the cannons.
All right.
That's why we're home.
I fired them.
Do you want to see him fire the cannons?
Of course I want to see him fire the cannons. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, it's a home game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they're trying to make it a neutral site. But at the end of the day, it is home field advantage. I understand where the NFL is coming from, and what they have talked about is they may not.
They said we can't fire the cannons. That's my question.
The question is they're looking into it. They may not let the Bucs fire their cannons when they score.
So it hasn't been decided
right,
yet.
but they may fire cannons when both teams score. I don't know. It's just
no. They can't fire cannons when both teams score. Like, let's stop that. Like, if they say that, then no, we're not firing no cannons.
Yeah.
But if they say the Bucs can fire cannons because we're at home, I agree. Okay, on the middle of the field at the 50-yard line, you can't put the flag there, the Bucs flag, and you want to put the Super Bowl emblem. Yes, I agree with that. If you want to have it around the field where you got the Super Bowl, whatever you got going on, you want to put the Super Bowl 55 little shit up. I mean, sorry, stuff up. I'm cool with that. But if you let me fire the cannons, then let's fire the cannons. Like, let's do it because we are here. It's the first time it's ever happened. It's never happened in the history of the football. And I'm gonna say this too, and I don't want to be a downer, but if the Bucs don't win this Super Bowl and they're the first team to get there, that is a big accomplishment to be the first team to be. Because here, let me tell you something. That may not happen again for a very long time.
Yep. It may not happen ever again.
Right. It hasn't happened ever. So if we don't win the Super Bowl, like, that's still a big deal. But I'm going to tell you something, Spider, and I know a lot of people, they are still picking the Chiefs because they just think the Chiefs are going to win it. But I'm going to tell you something. If the Bucs run the ball, if they run the ball, Spider, if they run the ball and they let their defense, and they play that they play that two-man under, where they got the two safeties high, and they play man under with everything, I guarantee you the Bucs will win this game because I think their defense is better than the Chiefs. Because again, I ask you, who are the guys on the Chiefs defensively that you're thinking about?
Chris Jones, Honey Badger, Frank Clark. If he, I haven't heard a lot from Frank Clark, but he's still there. I mean, they have some defensive players. It's not like they're sparse,
but not the Bucs.
Are they as talented as the Saints? No. Are they as talented as the Washington football team? Not in my opinion. Are they as talented as the Green Bay Packers? No. So I agree. I absolutely agree with you. Yeah.
They're not.
No.
They're not. And I think the Bucs can take advantage of it. Just from a running standpoint, they can take advantage of that. And I think, obviously, we're both very good, talented offensively. When you look at these four teams, the final four teams, all four of those teams were in the top 5 offensively. But the Bucs were the only team that had a top 10 defense of all those teams.
Yeah, I agree.
And you saw defensively, the Bucs defense was the best team defensively of all those teams.
Yep.
So again, I'm a defensive guy. I'm saying I'm leaning towards that. And I don't think a lot of people look at that because they only look at the splash plays. They look at what gets the Twitter walk talking, but they're not looking at all the other things. And I think the Bucs, if they continue to do what they need to do, and if they play consistently, and if you look at this too, Spider, when you look at the last time we played the Chiefs, obviously we did not do well in that first half.
Not in the first half, but in the second half, they made those necessary adjustments. And even Andy Reid and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce talked about it this week, about how those adjustments really shut that offense down. So you kind of wonder if they're going to take some of that stuff they did in the second half and apply it. And then what's going to be the counter point or counter punch by Andy Reid in this offense and Eric Bieniemy, who should have had an NFL coaching job by now, but doesn't. So we'll see what happens.
Let me ask you this question.
Sure.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Sure.
I'm glad you brought that up. Let's go in. Why are not our black coaches getting jobs? Because I just don't understand. Like we saw the coach today from the was it the Eagles?
Right. Doug Peterson.
He put forth,
right.
And what he said today, not Doug Peterson, the new coach. How he talked.
I didn't necessarily hear the comments, so you're gonna have to refresh my.
You gotta watch that because he has gone viral on Twitter, and he talked about his thing about being whatever he's talked about is being laughed at right now. And now we have all of these coaches here, and to me, there's no reason why a guy like our defensive coordinator,
look,
Eric Bieniemy,
right,
has not gotten a head
Todd
coaching
Bowles
job.
has interviewed for plenty of jobs, but he didn't want any of them, and I can understand why, because he's in a great situation.
You think he
right
didn't
now.
want any of them, or you think he wasn't offered?
No,
them?
I don't think he wanted. I honestly think Atlanta went in a different direction.
Offered them? Because listen, there's no way I'm gonna go interview for a job if I don't want to get offered the job. You're gonna interview.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
First, of course, as an NFL coach or a celebrity or anything of that fashion, yeah, you want to say you tried out for that movie part or you interviewed for that job because it adds to your resume. Second of all, didn't Houston just hire an African American coach the other day?
Yeah, they hired David Culley, who used to actually work with Sam Weiss back in the day as a wide receivers coach and did some good work with the Baltimore Ravens. Now, with that being said, I do not think that's going to save a Deshaun Watson. I think that relationship is absolutely.
No, Deshaun's already requested a trade. He made that official statement.
And again, he definitely requested it, but also you cannot hire African American coach when you're trying to keep a quarterback because he can see through that. Because what I'm trying to say is there are 32 openings, and there's only 2 African American coaches before this.
But that's the thing. The problem here is they tried to mandate the interview process with the Rooney Rule, and all teams did was make a mockery of that. So what we're running into here is the NFL is being asked to hire more African American coaches. I think that's a noble idea. I think that's the right thing to do. I also think it's a lot based on merit. And the big buzz one this year is Eric Bieniemy, which it has been for a couple years. The only thing that we have heard, and there's no confirmation of this because it's an interview. It's not like it's public record. But he's a horrible interview is what the word is on him. Now, whether or not that should factor in you being a coach or not, I reckon that's up to the individual teams. Do I think it's a good old boy network? I mean, to an extent, you can go down that path, but I mean, let's look at it this way.
Here's where I go with that. Okay. When you say it's a bad interview, like I would tell you to go back and look at what your coach that you just hired for the Philadelphia Eagles and listen how he talked, and you realize, like, okay, obviously, if he's talking like this in his first press conference, he had to be a bad interview. And so, also, what I would say,
are you talking about the Lions coach?
The Lions coach and Dan Campbell?
No. That was 3 weeks ago.
That was
2 weeks ago.
That was a terrible press conference.
But
by
I'm
the
talking
way.
about what just happened today. I'm talking about today. So when you go and look at when your guy for the Eagles that just got his first time and he had to talk about what he had to talk about, everybody is on Twitter. It's gone viral. He does not look like now, that don't mean he's going to be a bad coach, but I'm telling you, it does not sound well. If you are an Eagles fan or you're a Bucs fan, that was your coach talking like this, you would be disappointed. And so I get what you're saying about, we're doing some kind of crazy stuff by bringing, black coaches in and doing the Rooney Rule, but there are 32 opportunities here, and there were 7 openings here, and when you only get 1 African American in there, and listen, I'm telling you right now, when you have a coach, what's the coach that was in the Bengals? When he's never even coached at all.
Zach Taylor.
In the NFL. But yet he gets a head coaching job, and you got guys that has been in the NFL.
To be fair, Jimmy Johnson never coached in the NFL, and he got a job straight out of college. Urban Meyer just got a job straight out of college.
30 years. You talk about 30 years ago.
Well, you had Urban,
and I'm talking about Urban Meyer this year.
Yeah, you got Urban Meyer that got a job.
So here's what I will say.
But
we're focusing, and we're trying. Wait, dude. No, you hold on.
Okay.
What we're trying to focus on is looking at the negative side of this instead of focusing on the fact that this is the first Super Bowl that all the coordinators are African American. That we do have minority coaches who have had opportunities, whether or not it worked out, how they got fired, why they got fired. That's the problem. The NFL can dictate stuff like putting an African American coach or referee to the forefront to referee a big game like the Super Bowl, which they have. They can put emphasis on hiring it, but the teams are still individual entities. You can't demand that they hire somebody of a one color or the other. So it's a bad problem the NFL has put themselves in, but it's not something that can be dictated with policy. It has to be dictated with moral value. And at that point, you're asking billionaires to have moral values. And I'm not sure if that's ever going to be an exercise that can be fleshed out and accomplished. So I think what we have to do is focus on stuff like, again, we just because people on Twitter or on Facebook or anywhere tweet and yell and scream about it doesn't make it so. Example, Tom Brady was going to be a bust in Tampa. Josh Freeman was a Hall of Famer.
I get what you're saying, but here's where I'm going with this right now. When you tell me that maybe an African American coach or whatever the case may be cannot be a head coach because maybe you say he didn't call plays or whatever the case may be. Okay, when you give another candidate a job when you have only been a college coach and you got fired as a college coach, but now you get a head coaching job with the Bengals, and then you have someone that's been consistently a great coach, whether he was a running back coach, coffee getter, and then also being a great offensive coordinator, and has put his team in position, and you say, well, we're going to go with this guy who's younger, who's 33, and you got a guy who's been in the NFL for the last 20 years, and say that young guy is more qualified than this guy. I'm saying there's a problem because
but they're not saying he's more qualified. He's a better fit for that organization, for what they want to do, for their philosophy, for how they think.
I'll tell you this, and that's why you have Matt Patricia going to the Lions and sucking. And that's why you fired.
Well, wait. Who's the guy who replaced Matt Patricia, or was before Matt Patricia? It was an African American coach, and he sucked.
Yes, and no, he didn't suck because he went to the playoffs a couple years. But you fired.
So why did they fire? So what you're saying is an NFL team will forego success just to keep a white coach?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying is
that's what you're saying.
What I'm saying. No, what I'm saying is this. The guy that you just fired who went to the playoffs and then you put someone else there and he wasn't better, then here's the thing. I think what the NFL needs to start doing is stop. Like, listen, let's be honest. The NFL has 70% of their players are African American. So if the fact that we're not giving those guys more opportunities to step to the forefront. And that's why I give our head coach a very big hat tip to him. Not only does he have African-American coaches, but he has female coaches there. He understands. And there's a reason.
Isn't him being there by your narrative taking one of the only 32 jobs?
But hold on. There's a reason why Bruce Arians wanted Byron Leftwich to call plays. Because one of the reasons why, quote unquote, the African Americans, when they were offensive coordinators, wasn't getting jobs because they didn't call plays. Well, this guy does call plays. And so when you got guys like that calling plays, and he's young, and then you have guys that's over there with the Rams, and you got guys over there with San Francisco 49ers that they're very young, never even played in the NFL. Never even played in the NFL. But our offensive coordinator has played college and in the NFL and is there, but he's not getting those opportunities. And you see that with, other coaches.
Wait. Are you talking about Byron Leftwich or Todd Bowles?
I'm talking about Byron Leftwich at this point.
Byron Leftwich isn't going to get a head coaching job. He's only in his second year as a coordinator. I will say this, though. I think by introducing the race discussion.
Again, the head coach for the Rams did not have a lot of years as a offensive coordinator, and he's never even played in the NFL, and he's never done that.
You're holding up a straw man argument. There's no guideline that says you have to be a coordinator for this long and this long and this long.
No.
The point is.
There is, because the reason
really
we have
so where was Urban Meyer a coordinator?
Hold on, but that's why that's why.
What you just said.
No, that's why your offensive coordinator from the Chiefs has not gotten a job initially, because they said he didn't call plays, even though his title is offensive coordinator. But boy, you don't call plays, so he can't get there. So when now you have a guy though, and that's what you see. Even
how many years did Dirk Cutter call plays before he got a job? How many years did Dirk Cutter call plays before he got a head coaching job? Here's the problem. Putting the race in there is dismissing the actual quality of why these guys are getting considerations. If you're going to talk over me, we're not having a discussion. So
we are. It's not about the race.
But that's all you're bringing up. The fact is Byron Leftwich is where he is because of his pedigree, because of what he knows. See, go ahead, dude. Go ahead.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm
saying. You keep moving the goalposts, bro.
I'm not moving the goalposts.
Sure you are. You most definitely are moving the goalposts, man.
Well, first of all, here's what I'm saying. This is what I will say. Mike Tomlin, when he got the head coaching job for the Steelers, they were not going to even interview. How many coordinating positions did Tomlin call plays in before he got a job? None. The defensive coordinator. No, you're wrong. He was the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. So he did not. When he got his interview, he was not even on the radar for being a head coaching job as it relates to in terms of the highest guy. But when the Pittsburgh Steelers interviewed him, they realized, oh my God, this is a great guy, and that's why. That's why they should get hired. They should get hired because they have the right resume, because they have the right thing. So by continuing to make it a race thing with Byron Leftwich, for example, like you did, saying that Byron Leftwich, he was a college player, he was an NFL player, now he's been an assistant, now he's calling plays, and he hasn't gotten a chance. By saying it's because he's black, you're just making it about race. Here's how it works. He hasn't gotten it. Okay, please go ahead. I didn't say it was because he was black. I was saying it was because he, as it relates to when you look at resume, he has done everything you need to do to say, I am definitely a head coaching candidate. When I see people that has less pedigree than him or get a head coaching job, then I have to say.
Okay, so that's when I go back to what you're saying is that the white guys are getting more consideration with less experience.
Yeah, and to that point, you can't.
So you are making it about race.
But to that point,
no,
you
it's
can't.
not about race. It's not about race. It's just.
But to that,
you're only singling out one side. It's definitely you're making it about race, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. Organizations. Okay, how about this? There could be 55 people who are eligible to run the Burger King across the street from your house, but Burger King can hire whoever the hell they want because they're a company. That's who they are.
Here's the thing with Burger King and McDonald's, they make you go through their schooling. So I can go and get a McDonald's and say I want to franchise.
You mean like mini camp and training camp?
Hold on, I gotta go. I gotta go through McDonald's college in order to say I got it now.
Kind of like you got to go through the college to play in the NFL. Kind of like you got to go through training camp when you get hired at a new team to learn the system.
But here's the point, man. You do keep on making it about race. And look, I get that. I understand that. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the team and what their objective is. We can't say that the guy in Philadelphia isn't going to be successful because he hasn't called the amount of plays. That is on the organization, and you can't control what 32 owners want to do. You just can't do that. I mean, look, is it a crime that Eric Bieniemy doesn't have a job in the NFL? Absolutely. But it's also a crime years ago that Tony Dungy couldn't get an NFL job. But when he got the NFL job, how successful was he? When he got the opportunity, how successful was he? When Lovie Smith got the opportunity, how successful was he? So am I putting it all on race? No, I refuse to do that because I do think there are teams out there that are not colorblind. But to say they're not, of course. But at
the thing is, billionaires are billionaires, man. This is about money. This isn't about color. The only color this is about is green.
Right.
And organizations that win sell more jerseys, sell more tickets, sell more merchandise, get more advertisement.
That's what it comes
and you
down
know what,
to.
guys, and I guess obviously we're not going to agree on this topic, but this is what I will say, and then we can go somewhere else. This is what I will say. When you are in a situation wherein, again, 70% of your money is based on African Americans, and then once it's time to coach, only out of 32 teams, 3 people that you think.
But see right there, you're skewing the numbers because you're insinuating that every player in the league, white, black, brown, or otherwise, goes on to coach, and they don't. So you have to find a percentage. Wait, you have to find a percentage. See, you're gonna keep talking, dude. Let me get a point out, bro. Let me get a point out. It's called math. If there's 700 players who retire from the NFL this year, and 500 are black, but only, let's say, 490 of them decide not to coach. That's only 10 that are coaching. Okay? So it's not 700 guys that don't get a shot, or the 70% of the league that doesn't get a shot to coach. 70% of the league ain't trying to coach. Only about 10% of that is, maybe.
Again. So
come on, man.
You cut me off. What I was saying was this. When you have a league that is built on 70% of your players are African American, and then once you get to this look, we can not only look at NFL, we can look at college. We can look at college as well, college football, and wherein there's only 3 African American coaches, head coaches. There's a reason why, and you can talk to Bruce Arians. So you don't get mad at me. Talk at Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians, there's a reason why every coordinator on his staff is African American. There's a reason why he does. There's a reason why Tony Dungy, when he finally got his shot, Spider, you brought this up. There's a reason why he brought in Lovie Smith. He brought in
you would hope, for the sanctity of the game, it was because they were the most qualified for the position.
He was giving them opportunities to show that they're very capable of being great coaches. And so what I'm saying is this: the NFL we have to do a better job in the NFL. Maybe you don't agree, and that's if you don't, then that's fine. And
it's not that I don't agree. It's that I don't agree that somebody should get a job just because they have to meet a quota by the NFL.
That's not what I said. What I just said was there should be more black coaches out there than what there are. Now, I didn't say that they were better than Bill Belichick, but I'm saying they're definitely better than Matt Patricia. So what I'm saying is some of those guys should be getting chances to. Because
but here's the thing, Sean. Here's the thing.
Okay.
You don't know that Matt Patricia was going to be a bad coach because he was coming off a highly successul run. But he got the chance because he was the most qualified person at the time in that organization's eyes. We don't know what their qualifications for to say, well, they should hire this guy because I think they're good. It doesn't necessarily mean they're good. Maybe Eric Bieniemy went to interviews, and even though what he's doing on the field is great, maybe he's not impressing a general manager or an owner. That's certainly possible. And there's nothing you can say about it. I mean, at the end of the day, if the coaches fail for that organization that they picked over Bieniemy, and Bieniemy has a successful career as a coach, then it's on them. But at the end of the day, you can't just say, you can't do that.
Listen,
I
hear you, but I tell you this: there was a time in life wherein there was a such thing that black guys could not play quarterback. That was a real thing. And it was like they were not qualified to be quarterback. And oh, by the way, there was also a time in life wherein black people could not be middle linebackers. So we could not only, like, the Chiefs were the first team in the 60s that had a middle linebacker that was black.
Right, Buck Buchanan.
They were the first thing. And so what I'm saying is this, and I'm not saying that the owners are being racist or whatever the case may be. You're missing the whole point. What I'm saying is this. When you have 32 teams out there that's trying to win a Super Bowl, I just say that there should be more than 2 black people running the show as head coaches. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that you got to just put a black guy there because he's black and let's put him there. I'm saying the NFL needs to look at what they're doing. That's the reason why the NFL even try to put out a rule, which I don't agree with, that if you hire the black coach, then you get extra draft picks and stuff like that. I don't agree with that. I don't think that is something you should be doing. But what I'm saying to you guys is that I do believe that there is a better chance if I'm an owner, there's a better chance for someone like Todd Bowles. There's something better for the enemy to be a better head coach than a college coach that we just put over there with Cincinnati or to put over there with the Cardinals.
That was Jacksonville's choice. That was
That's the thing. We're going back to it. This is a business, okay? And right or wrong, businesses are about the bottom line. And right now, there's not a person in the world, and this has nothing to do with coaching merits. And before I even go there, 2 of my top 5 favorite coaches all time are Dungy and Tomlin. That said, there's not one person that can convince anybody that as far as the public perception, the economic value, the ticket purchases, the buzz and all that for the Jacksonville Jaguars is significantly higher with Urban Meyer than it would have been with an Eric Bieniemy or anybody else. Now, Todd Bowles, great coordinator. He wasn't a great coach. Remember, he had a shot. It didn't go well. Was it all his fault? I don't know. I wasn't in the building. I'm not saying that people shouldn't get a fair shake. I'm saying it should be all this. The owners base this on what the coaching impact is going to be to the bottom line, plus and minus, and how does it fit with the organization. And if the organizations decide to take a lesser candidate because of their perception of race, that's on them. And most likely we could probably look back and find out that those are the organizations that aren't very successful. The organizations that think outside the box and do the right thing without being forced to, like the Buccaneers, with their great history of hiring,
minority candidates.
Yeah. The Steelers, same thing. The Patriots, not necessarily with the minority aspect, but the thinking outside the box aspect on how to literally work the system to their benefit in every turn and every tweak. So the NFL, as much as we love to value it as a game, as a wholesome, loving, well-played organization, these are still 32 individual businesses that aren't just like mom and pop shops. They're billion-dollar corporations, and they are going to do what, 1, benefits them on the field the most, and 2, benefits them in the pocket. And sometimes, depending on the team, those 2 roles or priorities are reversed. It's depending on, do you want to be successful or money? For example, Hugh Culverhouse made a mint off of running the worst organization win percentage-wise in the history of sports, period. Jerry Jones made a mint.
You know what he did? He did not pay the black quarterback in Doug Williams and let him go off, and he paid another quarterback, and we started tanking for 14 years when we could have had him here. So what I'm saying, and obviously it has come out later that yes, he was a little bit of a racist, and I'm not talking about racist. I'm just saying that what we need to start doing, and NFL has talked about it, it is an issue. You see the NBA, they do it. They're getting more GMs and stuff. And I'm gonna give the NFL a little bit of credit because I think we got 3 GMs right now that are African American and stuff like that. I'm not saying African Americans need to get jobs just based on being African American. I think that's what you guys are hearing. I'm saying that they're not getting the opportunity to at least fail. Like, give me opportunity because I have a resume that says I'm qualified to be in this position, and let me fail, as opposed to, well, we're not giving you.
Does the resume qualify you to be put in the position or to apply for the position?
No. Well, obviously they're going there because obviously there's that Rooney Rule now. So every team, if you got an opening, every team got to hire interview at least one African American candidate. And which, again, I hate that. I hate the fact that you have to force a team to hire to interview any type of candidate. What I'm saying is, if you're good, then you need to be there. Matter of fact, guys, we're all Buck fans, are we not? There's this one young lady that's in the Bucs front office that I'm telling you, they're talking about she may be a GM here in the next couple. And by the way, she's female and she's African American. But the Bucs just hired her this year, and she was with the Jets for a while, for 8 years or whatnot. And Tannenbaum said, "Hey man," kind of told Jason Light, "And look at her, because she's brilliant." And Jason Light had an interview a couple of days ago where he was talking about how brilliant she is in terms of her math skills, and then just how she also helps with, getting contracts together when she talks to the agents and stuff like that. But she is someone that the Bucs love and realize she's there. So my point is if someone is that guy, or they're that dude, or she's that girl, then let's go ahead and do it. But let's understand that there should be more opportunities for these people to flourish. Because if you don't give them those opportunities first, like we saw with Tony Dungy, bringing those people in and giving his tree, if you don't give them that, then they will never get that. And I just think the NFL, and I will just say this, I think a lot of NFL teams are missing the boat by not putting more African Americans in positions to be head coaches, because when you got a league that has 70% African Americans, you should take advantage of that. Because if I'm a businessman, I need to look at what my demographics are and say, hey, can I do that? I mean, obviously, I think that's something I need to look at. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that.
Well, that's the thing. But with businesses, especially billion-dollar ones, when you start dictating like the Rooney Rule was doing, they're just going to find a way to skirt it, which they did. Hell, I don't even think a couple teams a couple years back even bothered bringing in the obligatory candidate just to satisfy the Rooney Rule. So, unfortunately, with the NFL or anything big business, when this much money is on the line, when you got this many people with this many deep pockets, they're going to call the shots. Same thing with Hollywood. Remember how long it took for African Americans to be treated fairly or even given decent roles in Hollywood? It literally took Tyler Perry opening his own studio. And unfortunately, I think that's what the NFL needs, is a minority owner. And the problem is, like you pointed out, there's only 32 of them, and ain't none of them giving them up.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, guys. Why do we need a minority owner to do that when we want to be? Oh, this is a great conversation, guys. This is a great conversation. Why do we need a minority owner to do that when we are human beings? Normally, so for instance, if I had a radio station, let's just say if I had a radio station, and if Spider came in to me, my boy, and he was like what he is, I'm not going to look at him and say, well, you're not African. I'm going to say, Spider, you do your damn thing. You got great guests that come in that would talk. You're going to be my guy because I know you're going to bring in all of this other traction because I believe in you. I don't think I need to be getting an African American owner in order to get African Americans in position to be successful. I think if you're that guy, I agree. I want to put you in there. But there's an issue if that whenever we have these things and there's 32 teams and there's only 2 African American coaches, that is a problem for me because I know that there's more than just 2 African American coaches that could be successful or at least have an opportunity. Now they can fail and they can lose. We already see that, but at least give them an opportunity to lose. Give a black quarterback an opportunity to fail and not be a good quarterback. But don't say he can't be a good quarterback because he's black. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think we've ever had anybody anybody of substance, I'll say, come out and say they can't be a good coach or quarterback or whatever because of their race. I think it's more of a.
It was. Wait, that's what it was with quarterbacks. Come on now, let's stop.
Well, I said anybody of substance.
Right. I mean, there's.
Well, but that's what the life was, though. Like, I mean, when you talk to Warren Moon, he had to go and play in Canada for like 7-8 years before he got his opportunity to.
Well, there's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. That was also 40 years ago. The NFL has evolved like most people have. The NFL hasn't evolved as fast as it should. We all know that. We can see that. We can see that a good percentage of the quote unquote workforce is of African American descent or minority, and the majority of the owners, well, all the owners are not, and the majority of coaches are. But I'm not saying these guys don't need a shot. I'm saying everybody needs a shot who has put in the work and deserves at least a seat at the table, a conversation. But when you dictate, which is the problem, the NFL tried to dictate it to rich people. I don't care if the rich person is a Martian. No rich person wants to be dictated to, so therefore they push back. That's wrong. I'm not arguing on their behalf. I'm pointing out that, like you said, they're all human. Everybody's a human here. If we could treat everybody equally, then we could have the discussion, well, they're all human, so they should do the right thing. But just a simple walk outside, we know that just being human isn't enough anymore. So what we have to come to grips with, and the mention of the movie studio with Tyler Perry and all that was more that Hollywood would bank off of actors or movies by African Americans, but the money never made it to them. They didn't get the credit for it. They were still working for quote unquote the man. And that had to change. And they tried several different ways. Networks had, shows and pushed an entire lineup one night of only African American sitcoms. That was awesome. We all actually look back at those shows as part of the fabric of our growing up. But it took someone like a Tyler Perry or in music, I believe it's what's his name? Simmons?
Russell Simmons. Yeah, Russell Simmons.
That had to say, the only way we're really going to make this happen is if we get a seat, not at the coach's table, not the GM table. We're going to sit at the table, and we're going to be part of the shot callers. And I think, unfortunately, that's what it's going to take to get a more level playing field. The other side of that is, let's say, and Ozzie Newsome ran into this a lot in Baltimore. Now that you're an African-American man who was put in a position of GM, now you're being pressured from both sides. One, get the best player. Two, but you got to get one, got to look for the African-American guy because you're an African-American. So this is where to me, I like the NFL because we watch the game and we never see faces. We see helmets and uniforms. And if the owners could look at the coaching candidates, the GM candidates, the players as helmets and uniforms instead of anything else, this would be a lot more even. There would be a more even distribution. But right now, I can't see it happening. I'm not saying I don't want it to. I don't care. Just win. That's what I want.
And here's a great thing you just said. You brought up Ozzie Newsome. Ozzie Newsome never picked anybody based on whether or not you were black or white. He just picked the right guy. That's why you think about the Bucs. The Bucs were losing after we won our Super Bowl. We went through a period of years of just losing. Ozzie Newsome, as a black GM like you, he never just picked anybody based on being black or white or whatever. He picked based on, I knew how to identify talent. And I'm going to keep my team in a position where they won 2 Super Bowls with him, but he picked guys that was just based on whether or not they can win games, whether it was Joe Flacco, whoever the case may be, white guys, black guys, or whoever, white coach, whatever. He picked the best, but he was in a position to where he said, I can make the decisions and I can make this team good. So if the Bucs had a guy like Ozzie Newsome, who, by the way, again, was black, guess what? The Bucs wouldn't have gone through what we've gone through for the last 15, 20 years. But we did go through that. But what I'm saying is, again, give them chances if you put yourself, like, for instance, right now, I think Shelton Coors, are you guys Bucs fans? I think you are. I think Shelton Coors is definitely someone who should be looked at as someone who could be somebody's GM. Because he's won a Super Bowl. He's been on the team that's won a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
He's been on the team that's brought good players in. He's been part of drafting Pro Bowl players. He's done it all. Like, there's nothing more he needs to do to say, I deserve a position, to say, hey, let me fail. And if he doesn't get an opportunity to do it, I'm not saying he will, but if someone says they hired Shelton Quarles to be their GM, or at least their assistant GM, which he is right now, I think, with the Bucs, like, that's not a problem. He's put in the work. I mean, he hasn't played since 2006. He's been in that front office for 15 years.
Right.
Like, there's no GM that you can tell me that's better qualified to go somewhere and be a GM than Shelton Quarles right now. There's no one. I mean, he's done it all.
I mean, again, it comes down to the team and their preference of who they want to hire, what's the fit, and we just don't know that. And I'm not ready to comment on it, but I do understand where you're going with it. They should give more opportunities. Absolutely, everybody should get more of an opportunity, and I think those opportunities are definitely opening up. And I think if you look at the evolution of the NFL with Russell Wilson and Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson and guys starting at quarterback. And I think eventually there's going to be a team owner like a Jay-Z. Most likely got involved with the NFL and Roger Goodell because most likely he'll buy a team one of these days and he'll be an NFL owner. I think slowly they're getting there, but it's in a lot better shape than it was 40 years ago. Sean, I got to run. Great conversation as always, my friend.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you. Definitely. Yes, we got to get you on video next time, my friend. Good stuff there, dude. Guys, great debate, and we'll definitely.
Man, I love the debate, man. I think this is a great conversation to have because I watch ESPN and stuff, and everybody have these debates and stuff like that. But I don't, a lot of them scream over each other. I know you said I screamed over you and everything like that, but I really do think that there's some great things that we could talk about. And I just do believe that we all want the same thing because I think we all love everybody. And I think it's there for us there. And Father, if I don't go to the game, I may come out there and get
Don't say
money.
you may. Just come out there. Don't say, I don't want to hear you may anything. Mother may I don't want to hear that crap. Just get out to the Deck Bar and Grill in Isla del Sol, and we'll get you on the evolution of sports talk television, all right?
All right, brother. Man, y'all have a good one, man.
All right, you
go
too, man.
Bucs,
There
right?
you go.
Go
All right, let me go ahead and fire those cannons for him. Let me go ahead and have a woo right there. Good stuff right there. Sean, the Sports Don, good stuff. Dude, I did a show with them a long time ago. You know why our shows had to go at least 2 to 3 hours.
Well, and the thing is, let's be clear here. Nobody's saying that this guy or that guy doesn't deserve it. It needs to be a level playing field. We all know that. If you have a moral compass, that's obviously the case. The reality is that's not what's happening. And I don't think policy or dictating it's going to work because that's going to be one of those slippery slopes that some team figures out how to, to get around. So I'll say this. I'm happy that the Buccaneers organization has one of the more diverse coaching staffs and front offices. I'm happy that we're going into a championship game where, if you think about it, a lot of the buzz has been obviously about the quarterbacks, but not so much the head coaches, but the coordinators on both teams.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is the spotlight that might help push this along. That said, I don't want Todd Bowles to go anywhere. I don't want Byron Leftwich to go anywhere. But I don't want to be the organization that holds them back from going anywhere. That's where I'll go with that. Now, join everybody from Bucs Report Super Bowl Sunday at the Deck at Isla del Sol. And if Sean shows up, he gets a chicken wing. Shout out to Advanced Auto Parts. Shout out to the Deck Bar and Grill. Shout out to all the other guys at Bucs Report. Everybody enjoy your night. Peter, thank you so much, sir.
Absolutely. There you go. The dude live here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, the Sports Web, again, brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts. All right, let me go out to my web heads, and then I'm going to end this show. We're nearly at 3 hours and 30 minutes here on the Sports Web. So let's see here. What do we got? Honestly thought Rojo would have a bigger impact at Green Bay. Playoff Lenny is starting to believe in himself, playing well. I love seeing Rojo come in with fresh legs with his style of running. If Mahomes runs, he will get hurt. Alex says, I would expect a lot of quick passes. Okay, we read that one. Okay, let's get back to here. Rojo had that huge catch and run against KC earlier. The truth says, regular season, one thing, playoffs seem to have an effect on some. Russell, again, I don't want Rojo catching, but he sure does hit holes with vengeance. Leave catching up to Lenny. Brady loves his pass catching backs all his career, though. Can't wait, says Marcus. Russell says, hopefully fans in the stands pump up the energy for our guys at home. The truth says, too bad the stands won't be full. Doug says, Bucs need to mess with the mind of Tyreek right away. Put in a fifth defensive back that being Scotty Miller chasing Tyreek around, that would be fun to watch. I don't think that's going to happen. Love that idea. Coffin says Scotty can't cover Hill. Russ says Brock Purdy, Iowa State, will be a good quarterback for the Bucs' future. When the Bucs take an early lead, it seems they really fire up the defense. You can see the fire in them. Russ says Watson will owe Texans $21 million if he retires just to get out of Houston. Then they have rights to him, and he may not sign with anyone until 2026. He's not retiring. Stop it. Yes, AB Scotty Gronk will get off. The truth says AB is the man. His hands are solid. He doesn't drop. Russell Weeks says, I think the Bucs and KC are going to be playing two deep safeties. Russ Lawson, Tyler Johnson is amazing. Coffin says, should Bucs play cover two? They're going to definitely vary the coverages as we talked about. Linebackers versus tight ends, all game on both sides. The truth, it's Rojo's injury or it's playoffs throwing Rojo off. The kid has talent, absolutely. We call him the victim of volume here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Rojo and Fournette, a combo hard to stop. Russell, again, the Bucs have also put up 30 points in 3 straight games. We're going to need 21 to 24 first half points. Russ says Hill is given to dominate. Take Kelsey out of it, and then you beat KC. Russell Weeks says make KC play from behind. Mahomes could be pressured enough to throw a pick. Russell, again, just play buck ball, and we will win. Greg says it's just two teams facing each other, not quarterback to quarterback. Agree. Russell says this game comes down to which dog wants it more. Maybe the Bucs have an edge trying to get Brady a 7th. Nate says, I was on call last week and love seeing the doubters come in and give their opinion. Let's go, Bucs, baby. Russell says, look how ridiculous we were on time of possession at Green Bay. Unreal. We will have to keep Mahomes on the sidelines. Russ again. Harry, any relation to Jimmy the Greek? No. Nate, that's right. A lot of opinions on Bale last week. What were your thoughts? My thoughts were he was going to come in and make a huge impact on this team. They were going to be in a good situation, not only with the rush defense, but also the pass defense. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. Go ahead and look back at the tape. In Arians' offense, hell yes, they can be multiple picks. It's not necessarily Brady. It's the type of offense BA runs, your risk picks. Coffin says Tyreek is not scared of any corner. He's worried about the safety coming across, though. Nate says, when thinking of this game, I go to the last time we played them and look at halftime adjustments we made against KC, nearly shut them down the second half. We also got off to a slow start last game against them, so we get off to a faster start this game. It's going to be a shootout. Eric Scott says, I feel like we have hit Tyreek Hill really, really hard, set the tone, force a fumble, and perhaps boom. Eric says, raising the flag. Russ says these teams know each other's tendencies well. The truth says we don't beat KC with BA's offense. We beat KC with New England's offense from 2 years ago. Okay, interesting. 2 times a day seems to increase the chance of false positives and taking players out of the game. That's the NFL. I got to say, the NFL has done somewhat of a good job of handling this situation. Of course, the best job was the NHL and, of course, the bubble by the NBA. Here he isn't from Chicago. Everyone knows that people who are not from Chicago are White Sox fans. I have to get back to you on that. Let's see. When Brady won his Super Bowl, that offense had few weapons, and he carved up KC. That is the exact way you need to beat them this time. Russ says, run the ball, eat the clock if we get the lead. Russell, says here, I think the Bucs should get more of a home field advantage like the Cannons, etc. It's the privilege of getting in this situation. Your thoughts? I mean, to me, is it really a home field advantage? It's a neutral site. I get it, but it is a home team. Why not let them fire the Cannons? Really, what is it going to do to hurt KC? But I understand the optics of the situation. People are going to complain that it is some type of home field advantage, but in reality, it really is. So I guess we'll see what they do with the fire of the Cannons. The Pirate shipping Cannons are not going anywhere. Agree with that. Let's see here. More comments from these guys. I want to make sure we get them all. So I'll go very slow. When Brady won his last Super Bowl, that offense had few weapons and they carved up KC. That is the exact way we need to beat them this time. I like that comment. Let's go out to Coffin here. The pirate ship is not going anywhere. Okay. Let's go out to Russ. Russ says, run the ball, eat the clock if we get the lead. Russell again, I think, okay, I read that already. Read that already. Greg says, if that toaster oven on steroids behind Harry, whatever it is, I want it. I don't know what it was. Alex says, Devin White is the best inside linebacker in the league, according to not only Alex, but also Christian McCaffrey. Take a look back at that first game matchup at Raymond James Stadium. Cut down on drop passes. Alex says again, I think the Bucs should be allowed to fire those Cannons. They earned it. They made history in their stadium. The Cannons are a package deal. I somewhat agree with that. That's not true. The Bucs are not only playing in their own stadium, but they are literally the home team and switches every year. AFC, NFC, AFC, NFC, so on and so forth. And this year it's NFC home game. Alex says, I'll bring my own cannon. I think a lot of people are going to try to do that. I don't know how successful you would be to get through the check, if you will, through that stadium check. Bucs are better than the Chiefs at this moment. Change my mind. I agree with you. I definitely think the Bucs are better, but the Chiefs aren't at a disadvantage because they aren't coming into a week in advance. We shut up Cannons fire and the scoreboard advantage. Coffin says, Tontos versus Scallywags. Alex says, if the Packers made it in their stadium, would they stop the snow? Would they stop the Lambeau Leap? No, it's a good point. I wonder how the refs will call this game, let them play or not. You're going to have a chick ref out there. Let's go ahead and go with woman, not a chick, but okay, I understand. AFC refs will get Brady at least one roughing the passer call. I guarantee it. Good for us. 53 female ref missed the face mask call on Godwin. She is terrible. Russ says, I thought Brady was headed to the Chargers, but glad he didn't. Right? Coffin says, funny, Bucs are considered an underdog. Russell says, watch, we give up a punt return for a touchdown. Watch, we are not good at special teams coverage. Russ says the defense is very similar to the 2002 Bucs defense. Not sure about that, but the way they're playing right now, they're playing at some points a dominating fashion. I wouldn't say they're the 2002 Bucs defense. That defense was extraordinary. Very tough comparison. McCole Hardman is zippy. Christopher Cole says Brady wasn't going to California or LV because it was too far away from his son. That would be Las Vegas. Will Hill be wide open again? Hope not. Russell says, I was surprised we decided on White Pewter with us being at home. I wanted us to be like the 02 Bucs. These two teams are a lot alike. Russell says, on average, a team gets about 12 positions. We need to give Mahomes like 6 or 7. They can't score if he's not on the field. Simple. Right. Christopher Cole says, do you think that Big Ben is going to retire? Certainly a possibility. Christopher, with his level of play and also the organization maybe moving on from him and going in a quarterback manner with some of the quarterbacks out there in this draft class, certainly possible. Bucs time 12. This will be a shootout, but Tampa has faster, more physical defense. That has to be the difference. We need to contain them more, and then they contain us. The truth says, I sure hope Rojo gets it done. Russell says, anyone seen the weather forecast that's calling for rain? Imagine that. Haven't heard rain. I forgot who called in and said they hadn't thought about the possibility of losing, but that's exactly how I feel. I feel as if we're already won and or will 100% win. Scary stuff, man. Ben says, we're undefeated, scoring 30 points or more. Russell says, I hope it rains out the horrible halftime show. Come on now. You guys don't like the weekend? You don't like the weekend there, Russell? Bucs 31-28. Good night, y'all. God bless. Let me go ahead and fire those cannons. And give him that right there. Christopher Cole says, when was the last time the Bucs defense gave up 30 points? That's a good point. Gronk tends to play well against Kansas City. Bucs time 12. Crown and cranberry juice. Laugh out loud. Mahomes had 16 interceptions that got dropped, far more than Brady, according to PFF. There you go. Good stuff. I need some crown after some of these callers. Laugh out loud. I know, right? But we love them. We love our webheads. We love our callers. I get it. You guys may not like them. That's okay, but you have the opportunity. We give you the opportunity to call the phone line. Phone line is open. Yes, it is 12:30, but it is Friday night. What else are we doing on Friday night, right? What are we doing? 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. Some of them say the exact thing as ESPN media. As long as they have 32, you can't call KC's defense bad. Absolutely not. Corey says Jones on Stinney is going to be crazy. We got to stay on the wide receiver on the scramble drill. Jesus or Jesus, Taylor Allen says still going strong. Absolutely. I never considered the Chiefs to be a great team. They just are good at hanging around and making comebacks. They don't win the Super Bowl last year if Jimmy G completes a pass in the fourth quarter. And also if you go with your game plan of running the ball, which you got away from in that fourth quarter, in my opinion. Dustin says over under 4 sacks of Mahomes in the Super Bowl. I think it's definitely over. I mean, it could be 4 sacks or over. It could be. Taylor Allen says good vibes, only not if when they win. David says Hill was last year's MVP. Pat had 2 picks. Sin Hill ran down his punt pass. Christopher Cole, Taylor Allen, exactly win or lose. It's been an awesome season and ride. Russell Weeks, everybody is Stephen A. Smith now. Eric can't be a coach while he's getting ready to coach a Super Bowl. Next, they're going to call for all black quarterbacks across the league. How long was Raheem Morris, a defensive coordinator before he became a coach? He's never a defensive coordinator. He just became a coach, and that necessarily wasn't the greatest thing for the Bucs. He wasn't ready to be a coach. This is America, so become a billionaire, then you can hire all the blacks you want. Simple NFL race card is invalid. Go Bucks. Tapasso says, why does it need to be black? They're not only minority, also most players are black, so it seems some are creating issue. There is none. I don't think there is an issue there. I think the conversation was not on color. It was about opportunity, and that I'll leave it at that. Get Live 55. LaBello, weather changed. It's raining the day after the Super Bowl. It's still partly cloudy, 8 degrees with 80 degrees. I don't think it's 8 degrees with 5 mile per hour winds. Will Misador says everyone is up in arms over EB not getting a head coaching opportunity. However, he hasn't said a word. Maybe he's interviewing out of respect, but he declines because he wants the KC job. Bingo! That right there could be the reason. And maybe there's owners around the league that think that he is going to take that KC job once Andy Reid hangs it up. I definitely think that's a great point. And it was kind of a point you put out there with Josh McDaniels, right? A lot of he spurned the Colts. He didn't go and coach them. And everybody just anticipated eventually he's going to take over for Bill Belichick, right? Maybe the same can be said about Bieniemy taking over for Andy Reid. Certainly possible. Something about the way Mickens was running the ball let me know we're going to win the game. Go Bucks. Ben Parrish, keep Mahomes off the field and we win. Ben Parrish again. I just know there's comfortable playing in your home field. It just feels right. Ben again. Chiefs hit their high on barely staying above and we're going up and up sky's the limit. And David says, finish it. Bucks, you got this. All right, guys. Let me go ahead and fire those cannons right there. Let me go ahead and give you that. Thanks a lot for all the guests. Of course, Harry the Greek, my professional handicapper. We had Sean the Sports Don on, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. Man, just so many great guests tonight. And thanks to all the callers. We'll be back on Monday here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, getting you ready for Bucs versus the Kansas City Chiefs and Super Bowl 55. So do 3 things for me early on this Saturday morning. You ready? Write them down because there's a quiz afterwards. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, the Sports Web, brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts. For all your auto parts needs, it's Advanced Auto Parts. Guys, have a great night, and we'll see you on Monday night on the Sports Web live on Bucs Report. See you then.
throws, end zone. He's got Evans for the touchdown. Third down conversions on their way down the field, and Mike Evans is in for the score and the early points for the Buccaneers here on the road.
Well, Kevin King comes up, he gets a jam on him, and then he doesn't really retreat after that. And Evans is just able to get him behind him, go to the corner, and mistimes his jump on the ball.
Going nowhere, we ain't going nowhere. We can't be stopped now, cause it's bad boy for life.